You got to have a concept. You have a great concept. You guys are doing it, man, and it's an honor for me to just be, a small rock, man, in your mountain. I'm gonna pop a top in your honor. Mr. Doc Walker blessed us with his presence, and now
we want to welcome in our next special guest, Haley Skarupa. She's a three-time world champion in women's ice hockey and most recently won Olympic gold with Team USA.
The Caps Stadium Series is definitely my favorite, obviously. I'm a huge Caps fan, I always have been, and to be there at that game with my teammates and for us to bring, our gold medals to there and share it with everyone in this area was really, really special for me, and just the support and it's been tremendous from everyone in this area, and you can feel that there at that game.
Welcome to Sports on the Hill podcast. Hashtag DC Sports Without the Politics with Carol and Robbie on True Radio Network.
And welcome to episode 403 of Sports on the Hill podcast. And I'm joined by an awesome group of people from all over the world. And join us to talk about the Olympics. We're going to talk about the Olympics in the first hour, and then we're going to talk a little wrestling in hour two as well. I'll just announce all the different people. I'm going to share it to a couple of Caps groups while I do. But Gil, why don't you introduce yourself and let people know about your podcast, the Hockey Podcast, and when you guys will be returning.
Yes, I'm Gil, also known as the Blue Liner on Point. I host the Power Play Point podcast. We will be reconvening our next episode Sunday, March the 1st, when the Caps...
I can't hear Gil.
I can hear him.
Actually, I can't hear anybody.
Yeah. I think that might be
there we go. Unmute the computer.
Unmute
the computer always is a good thing, right?
All right.
Sorry. I went into silent movie mode. Sorry.
No, you're good.
No.
It wasn't your fault. It was C4's fault. Anyway,
no,
but
it was user error on this end. Sorry, guys.
Yeah. Anyway, no, you're good. All right, but so Gil, you were saying.
Oh, yeah. So our next episode, we're going to record Sunday afternoon, March the 1st. After this week's slate of games, NHL returns Wednesday. Caps are featured in a full slate of games Wednesday, this coming Wednesday. They'll be playing two more games, so we're going to cover them. Anna will be back on with me then. And, of course, with our open door policy, any Caps fan wanting to come on with us, you're welcome to come on with us and talk Caps hockey if you want to be our guest. So our window right now is 4:30 Sunday afternoon, 4:30 Eastern, Sunday afternoon, March the 1st, if you want to come on with us and talk Caps hockey for our next episode.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. Yeah, I'm just sharing to a couple of different Capitals groups that we're both in, and I always appreciate Gil talking a little Caps with me, and maybe at the end of this Olympic segment, we'll preview a couple of the upcoming Caps games this week as they get back to action. For that, we also have C4 back with us. So C4, do you mostly just watch the Hockey Olympics, or did you watch some of the other stuff as well?
I watched the gold medal games. Well, the men's gold medal game, and there's a story behind that, which we'll get into later. I did watch. Off and on, I watched a little bit of the curling. I watched some of the ice skating, a little of this, a little of that, kind of in between all the other stuff I was having to get done. But yeah. Cool.
All right.
But I
just want to ask you about things that you. Yeah, for sure. And we have Stuart back with us, our resident Canadian from Winnipeg. Stuart, how are you doing tonight?
Good, doing good.
Yeah.
Good to see y'all.
Yeah, no, I really appreciate you coming on, and and I was telling this to Gil before that, I was very impressed with how Canada did in both tournaments. I felt they did what they were supposed to do. I just, that 3-on-3 can go either way in a crapshoot. It's just,
I hate the 3-on-3 for a big game like that. I hate
yes.
it.
I know.
That was a huge. Yeah, a lot of people were saying that.
I actually had an idea of what I would do to solve it, right? Because I mean, people are talking about you can't go on forever, right? It's the last event of the Olympics. Like they have, a lot of things happening right afterwards. They can't have it be like a 4 overtime spectacular like we all would want it to be. So my theory is you do 10 minutes of 5-on-5, and then you do 10 minutes of 4-on-4, and then you do 20 minutes of 3-on-3. So it doesn't go forever, right? If they want to decide a 5-on-5 and you want to prove that you're better on that, you have your 10 minutes to do that. Then it goes to 4-on-4, which is what it was for 2010 when Sid won it 4-on-4. People forget that. They're like, it's not fair, but it was 4-on-4 then too. So
I love your theory, because the most important part about that theory is 3-on-3 is not going to last 10 minutes in that level.
No.
There's no way you're going to get to the 10-minute mark in 3-on-3. So try it 5-on-5, try it 4-on-4. I love that theory. That would be
and then that way it's also changing sides. So it's the long change for the first one, 5-on-5. So it's already a little bit tougher. And then, it's back to the normal side of changing it again, like they changed the ice. And then you would resurface the rink and have another overtime. And then that's the 3-on-3, But so I think that solves the problem. But no one's asked me. But I think that I think that would have been a better result. Because I agree with you. I think that's a terrible way to decide a game. And to be honest, if someone had said it was going to go to 3-on-3 in overtime,
Canada would win.
Yeah, Canada would win, right? Because they have a hell of a team. So I didn't. I don't know if it's an inherent advantage for the United States, for sure.
I don't think it's an advantage for anyone. I just don't think it's not the same kind of hockey.
And to be fair, I'd rather the 3-on-3 than a shootout. So
that's true. Yeah. I mean, the shootout's a no-go.
Lesser of two evils if you want to go there.
Right, for sure. And I think that you could get there. I just don't think you have to go right to 3-on-3. I think there was... Even if they went to 4-on-4 before 3-on-3 and did 20 minutes of 4-on-4 and took out my 5-on-5 idea, I would think that would be better. And because 3-on-3 you make one mistake and it's over, which I get is what you're trying to do, but it's
I guess the other problem I have with going right to 3-on-3 is the NHL players practice it enough now. That's fine. But the problem I have with it is it's not the focus of a team. It's not what they practice all day, every day. They're practicing their 5-on-5s or their penalty kills or their power plays. The 3-on-3 is kind of a put to the side kind of thing. So that's why I have a bit of problem with it. It's not real hockey. It really isn't.
Yeah.
And like I say, if you want to speed up the game, do the 5-on-5, 4-on-4, 3-on-3.
Yeah,
I
think
that.
There's ways to do it. Yeah,
that.
I think so. Yeah. So we'll see. Maybe they'll revisit it. And, it wasn't 3-on-3 before, so that was obviously a new wrinkle on it. And, one of my favorite podcasters, Steve Dangle, said, hey, we didn't hate the 3-on-3 when the two previous times when, it helped Canada get to that point, So
no one's complaining about it here, and I'm not really fully complaining on it. I just don't think it's it takes away from the game. I bet it changes the game. It makes it a different game.
Yeah, so, I agree with you. Yeah, it's 100%, and to me, it's a game of luck because it's one bounce the wrong way. It's hard to recover.
Makar caught an edge, and if he didn't, it's it's a 3-on-2 instead of a 3-on-1, right? So
right, yeah.
So it's that shit happens.
Yeah, so it's unfortunate because I think that it mars what otherwise great game. But the women played an incredible game as well. I just Stuart, we had talked about it last week. We thought it wasn't going to be close, and USA would
I'm still beside myself on that one. I actually, I thought that. So I was complaining about the two girls that I know that are on the team, Katie and what's her name, Larock, Jocelyn. The two of them shouldn't be there. The one's too old, and the other one's never played international hockey until this year, and they brought her up. She wasn't good enough to play there, so I was complaining bitterly about them both, and they played terrible in the final, but it didn't matter because the team played well. So. It was a good game. It was a really good game.
Yeah, unfortunately, I missed the women's game. I had something else going on that night, but I was
that was 3-on-3 too in the OT too, right?
Yes.
The same rules. Okay.
Yeah.
Same rules.
Yeah, and what the funny thing about it is it should never have made it to that point. But I honestly think, and I believe this beyond a shadow of a doubt, I think the American women thought they had an easy win. And they played like that at first, and then the Canadian women just took advantage of it because the Americans, it's like they were floating. They weren't even. I felt like they weren't trying hard, and then they turned it on, but it was a little late when they started turning it on, and they had to score late in the game to tie it up even. So,
yeah.
The U.S. women, I guess, crushed a lot of their prelim games more, so maybe the talent gap was just bigger, but.
Yeah, well, it's huge. The American women are the best team by far. They're way better than the Canadian team, and like you say, there's a talent gap. I think that plays against the team too, when they don't play any really good games or close games. At least the Canadian women, they were playing tough games and they were fighting to get there. The American women just cruised all the way there.
Yeah, I think
So I don't think the American women's heart was in it that much, but the Canadian women did the right things. They played it well, they played it strong, and they played like you have to play if you want to try and beat a team that's much better than you, right? So
yeah, I was so impressed by the effort level by both teams, though. I just thought that Canada really put together their best performance of the tournament, and so it was a very, very close match. Gil, what were some of your thoughts on it?
I really enjoyed the women's game. Full disclosure, I kind of had it due to the timing of the game. I was actually leaving work, but I borrowed my wife's Peacock account and had it playing on my phone and jerry rigged it so that it was playing through the radio on my car speaker, so I was able to listen to the game.
You had the game going while you're driving?
Yeah.
Jesus.
I was that into it.
Okay.
Well, I also had. It's funny because I also had the game on while I was driving. So I had it on YouTube TV. Or no, I guess it was also on Peacock or whatever. But it was funny because I had to go pick up my son, so I was also driving back, and I was like, I gave him the phone. I said, "You got to root real hard," and so he's like chanting in the back of the car, "Go USA" for me while I'm driving to get us home in time. And
fantastic.
Yeah, it's kind of funny because if they hadn't got the tying third period goal, and that happened when he entered the car, Gil, he got in the back seat and he was chanting, and then he's like, "They tied," and then he went crazy, and then I was like, "Good, try to keep it that way," and then we rushed home, and we got home just in time for overtime, so we got to watch it with my daughter as well. So yeah.
That's fantastic.
Lucky for me, when overtime started, I was at a notoriously slow traffic light. So I got to sit in traffic and watch the winning goal because the light was so damn slow.
What are the laws for cell phones in your area?
I probably shouldn't. I probably shouldn't have admitted that just now, but yeah,
it's good. We won't submit this podcast on the record. So
yeah, you'll get a ticket in the mail.
Yeah.
Well,
probably.
I had my driving to church with all the pregame stuff on Sunday. I had my phone kind of propped on my, where the speedometer is and behind my steering wheel.
I considered doing that.
Connected the Bluetooth.
Yeah.
You guys doing all these acrobatics to watch the game, all I did was lie on my couch and watch it.
I was good. I was good. I had the AirPod in as I'm walking into the church and everything. I was good. I took it out when I was during the sermon. I took it out and I paid attention to the sermon. Then I put it right back in on my way up to class. And then during class, I had it on my phone on mute, kind of watching it, the overtime, because it's like, so I had the overtime, like my phone propped up on my thing,
so
kind of paying attention to class, but also
what a terrible time to have it, though. It's clearly like all of us are going through such acrobatics because, like,
well, I mean, if you think about it, Italy is like 5 hours ahead of us.
6 hours. 6 hours ahead.
6 of these.
Yeah. So yeah,
it's just brutal, but it's pretty.
It would have been nice. It would have been nice if the women's gold medal game were on a Saturday.
Yeah,
that would have been great.
I didn't like that. I thought it was a little insulting to have the women play on the Friday. They should have actually had them on the weekend.
I totally agree.
Because I really wanted to see that game. I just couldn't because I others.
I
forgot, and I was going to record it and I forgot. And it's like, I mean, not that it would have mattered. I didn't know who won.
They let the men's bronze game.
I mean, and you could have scheduled to have both. They could have a bronze be like the early game, and then have that be the second game.
That's what they should have done. Yeah.
And talk about that'd be a great lead-in if you got to get a ticket to both. Like you get to go to the bronze and then the women's gold medal match. Like that's a pretty cool.
Yeah, I didn't understand. didn't understand the scheduling all around.
Well, they had a problem with that arena because people leaving that arena said it took them hours to get onto a bus because they had one area where you could walk out and everyone had to go load on buses at the same spot. So it's not like they had multiple buses coming up. They'd load one bus at a time. Can you imagine getting rid of thousands of people after a game? It literally took people hours to get out of there. So it was horribly designed. I can't understand it at all.
That would be Italy for you.
Yeah. Well, they had to bring our team captain and the goalies had to ride golf carts to get to the ice there. It's like, what the hell am I watching here? Who designed this arena? Like, what were they thinking?
I don't think they finished it.
Hockey there. Yeah, I don't think they care about hockey.
Yeah, I'm not sure it's finished.
Barely finished it. Yeah. Their
So
team didn't do great, so it wasn't a important sport for them.
Yeah,
No,
exactly.
and tomorrow they won't care about it, right? So they didn't care what they built. They're probably building it for some other purpose.
Yeah, for sure. It's crazy how quick the overtime winner happened. I did not expect it to happen that quickly, but maybe we should have 3-on-3. But
I think at that level of hockey, it doesn't matter how good your goalies are doing. They're not going to last long. You got the best shooters in the world on the best teams in the world. What do you think is going to happen when Canada and America go up against each other, right? It's not going to last.
I was surprised how low scoring it was up until that point. I mean, that's a testament to both goaltenders to keep it a 1-1 game.
There was 30 something shots each, 31 or something each. I think they're pretty close to me. Yeah, it was a pretty even game shots wise and a decent number of shots. So the goalies did good.
Especially that shorthanded goal early in the second period by Canada. I thought that's a backbreaker because you get a power play going into the second period. You think you're going to come out of that with some momentum, and instead, boom, 1-0. And they held on to that until the very end. I mean, it was like 3 minutes.
2 minutes left.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, Hillary Knight what an incredible player over so many different Olympics. It's
actually nice to see her get the tying goal because this is probably it for her, right? So
yeah, and that broke the record for most goals and most points by an American. Or at least she ties both records. So she gets, and I kind of like that sometimes when you tie the record because then you get to be in the name with the other person who had it before. Anyway, so it's kind of a nice moment for her, full circle to tie some of the people that were her inspiration when she got into it, right? So so good all around moment, but crazy game. I thought Canada just gave it everything they had. Gil,
they did, but honestly, the Americans deserve the win. There's no doubt in my mind. They were the best team there by far. Canada did the right things to try and win the game, but just didn't quite make it. So a little frustrating in Canada to watch that goal 2 minutes left in the game. It's like, oh my God, no, this isn't happening, is it?
Yeah,
I knew they were dead when that happened because we don't have the firepower that the Americans have, and our best player was playing injured, so it's not like we were going to beat them in overtime.
Yeah. And I thought that they almost got a 1-0 win. I honestly thought it was a great game up to that point too. It's like it's hard when it's like a low scoring game to talk about how the back and forth opportunities, but just the intensity I thought from both sides of it. It was not.
Oddly enough, most 1-1 or 1-0, 1-1 games or whatever you think are boring, right? But that was actually a good game. It was a lot of fun to watch. Both sides had their chances. The goalies standing on their heads. It was good hockey. It was really good hockey.
Yeah, so it was really good to see.
I do like a good defensive game in hockey. Honestly.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, and we got that on the men's side too. But I wanted to highlight the defensive side that Stuart was talking about. Frankel, started 5 games. She faced 99 shots. She gave up 2 total goals and had 3 shutouts.
Did she really? Wow.
Yeah,
that's insane.
And I love this comment down below here. I had to keep it in the screenshot, and it said, "Yet somehow they named the Finnish Tendi to the All-Star lineup and not her."
That's crazy.
How could she not be the All-Star goalie with the numbers like that? But
I don't even remember watching the Finnish goalie play. Was she that good? She must have been outstanding.
Even if it could be
I know, right?
Yeah, that seems.
I watched the Americans and I watched the Canadians play. I don't remember watching Finland unless I think watched them one game, but.
Yeah, I didn't either, but I just thought that was that's a fantastic stat that I didn't know about. But
does anyone know the Finnish goalie stats? Did she have insane stats?
I don't know. I'd have to go look it up.
It says she was an injury replacement, so she was only there because someone got hurt a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, but her stats must have been wild.
Oh,
If they picked over Franco.
yeah,
I didn't even know this happened until now. Honestly, I assumed the All-Star was going to be the American goalie. So.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't know it either. And maybe this person's wrong, but I feel like they wouldn't have posted. I feel like that'd be a weird thing to post.
It would be, wouldn't it?
Yeah, but it could be a bot. So, who knows? But I found it interesting regardless. So the other thing I found interesting was the final two games were rematches, of 2010, right? For the rematch of the gold, and also for the bronze match. So I thought,
right, I forgot about that. Yeah.
It's sort of like, and it's only like 2 Olympics removed now, like with NHL players, right? So like, it's pretty much almost a rematch right there. And so I thought this was kind of funny. We have a lot of Capitals listeners, so I thought I would tell this story. So asked if the Canadians and Americans will watch the gold medal game separately, our Capitals coach was asked. It's a great question. I feel like there are some that like the banter and back and forth, and there's others that want to be left alone and don't need anything from the peanut gallery. And then you got the people from the teams that are out of it. Like, I'm just imagining Sedin throwing in his 2 cents. It'll be interesting to see who congregates and watching the game. So I thought that was kind of interesting that they were all watching in pockets around the rink, when it was happening. So, one other fun fact about this one is there's a lot of teammates that normally in the NHL play on the same team together that were against each other in this matchup. And so I thought that this was a really interesting list right here. So, on the Hurricanes, you've got some of the Avalanche. You've got the Stars, Florida, obviously, the Lightning, and Vegas. But it's kind of interesting to see who had to be enemies for this such important game. And obviously,
Hagel and Gensel went after each other once. I thought that was kind of funny.
Yeah, and I think that's pretty wild. Matthew Tkachuk being on the winning side. 2. Stanley Cups in a row, and then this, and I just feel for McDavid who's on the other side of that, right? So, so it's kind of brutal when you think about it.
They showed his face over and over too. That's
McDavid.
I've seen his face.
But he was also the MVP of the tournament. Like, he still won MVP.
It's not really fair, but I don't know. Just that was iconic.
It's just interesting that he had like 2 points or more in every game in the tournament, and then didn't have a single point in this game. So,
that's insane.
Yeah, it was a crazy kind of back and forth game in the first period. Matt, Boldy gets a goal.
That goal was like, I was like, stunning.
Yeah, it was a pretty amazing assist by Austin Matthews and Quinn Hughes. Gil, what a goal to open the scoring here, and it held on for actually a long time in this game. So,
that was, Alex Ovechkin's favorite word is sick. That's the only word I can think of to describe that goal. That was, it was the only thing I can compare it to in my mind is. One time I saw the great Lionel Messi literally juggle his way to the box and score a goal like that. That's pretty much what Matt Boldy did with the puck. Juggled it twice to get past the defense, made it airborne so they couldn't take it off him, and then slips it past Binnington. I guess you want to call it the 7-hole is what Locker calls it for the opening goal. Probably the worst way that Canada could have started this game is playing from behind, because I don't think that they were used to that. And I think it really affected their strategy playing forward. But it's the classic punch in the mouth thing. Everybody has a plan until you get punched in the face. And that is literally how they played until they finally got a power play. That's a bit of a bone of contention. I don't think I think a lot of Canadian fans, I'm sure, Stuart, you'll agree, the officiating wasn't great for this.
It was awful. It was awful.
Was not great.
And I don't care when, most of the times I don't care about the officiating. I kind of go, whatever. It was bad officiating. You can live with it. But this officiating was really bad. It was, I expected more because there's a Canadian and American ref from the NHL. I expected way more. The shit they missed, it was like, and then the Canadian 4-minute penalty was well deserved. I mean, he took out his tooth, right? So that was well deserved. But missing the too many men call, I all of Canada just sat there with their hands up going,
didn't they miss a way too many men call in one of the other games?
The game before Canada, they had 8 guys on the ice. There was 8 guys on the ice, and they were handling the puck. When they scored, 6 guys got grouped together on the boards and were celebrating together. 6 skaters. Right away, one of the refs should have said, "Hang on, how is there 6 skaters standing here celebrating this goal?" Right? So. Yeah, they literally had 6 guys skating down the ice towards us. 2 guys went off when they realized what was happening, but they went off. They were way too late going off. They were literally in the middle of the rink, and they realized how many players were on the ice, and they both skated towards the bench, and they were literally getting off the ice as the goal was being scored. But that's the amount of time they had. 8 guys on the ice, 8 skaters, not 8 players, 8 skaters and a goalie. They had 9 players on the ice, and all the videos that went all across Canada, everyone's counting players on the ice, right? And then we got all the memes where they'd show the entire bench on the ice and all that. It was some funny shit. But you miss one too many men call, and they bring it up and they say to the refs, this can't happen again. And then in the final they miss it, and I'm like, how is this? Like, everyone's watching. We can see there's 6 guys in the camera right there. Never mind the 7th guy that was from the American team. It was over on the other side of the ice, and they're handling the puck in front of the bench. These guys are all standing on the camera. We can see it.
So the first thing you want to check when something like that happens is somebody
my wife has been doing this for like 2 days straight now, and she comes and massages me and says, "You'll be okay. You're gonna live."
That's what the refs should be doing to Canada fans right now.
If somebody's playing the puck or within vicinity of the puck or reaches for the puck, that was the first thing I looked for, because I saw the 6 guys and I was like, okay, well, if nobody's playing the puck, then it's really not a big deal if they miss it. Somebody was reaching for the puck. Somebody in a white jersey was trying to play the puck. So that should have been called.
That was horrible. And it's the timing of it is bad, because it was before we got our 4-minute penalty. So, the butterfly effect, if the Americans got a penalty at that point, all of a sudden, we're in a power play. We don't get that stick to the guy's face, at least.
So I want to point out something our friend Janaea pointed out. Not long after the first goal, Canada dominated obviously, it was like 65, 70% or plus that the possession time was in their favor, and they didn't get a power play until all the way into the middle of the second period.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
And honestly, I don't. There was several times they could have called penalties, and we're all kind of going, well, so they're letting him play. I don't mind the letting him play thing. I'm kind of a fan of that, but in the same breath, there was a couple of plays where it kind of affected the play, and we're like, yeah, maybe you should have called that. I don't think Americans are playing dirty by any stretch of the imagination. It's not like they miss 50 major penalties and things should happen, but to miss a penalty like that, the one that they missed was huge. It changes the outcome of the game in different ways, right? Because we had so much pressure at the time. We were literally dominating the game. I mean, the second and third period, it was ridiculous how much Canada's dominating, and they don't even give us a penalty that was so bloody obvious at that point. So yeah, Canadians have troubles with that. The too many men calls in the Olympics. They didn't go our way.
Yeah, that's for sure. But I mean, I still thought there was opportunities. There was a yawning net, a 5-on-3. I was,
I thought y'all were gonna win it there in that 5-on-3. I was like,
there's no way.
93 seconds of 5-on-3 against a world-class power play. I thought it was game over.
Oh my God, I thought
The U.S. had a perfect PK though in the
17 for 17 for the whole entire tournament.
Oddly, the thing I found about that power play, when we were 5-on-3, that was the only time the Canadians played really bad. It's like, I'm going, what are you guys doing? You're not moving the puck. You're just kind of waiting and looking for openings that aren't there. Like, move the puck. Any Canadian will tell you get the damn puck in a 5-on-3, you get it moving. Eventually, they're going to outrun them, and because the puck goes way faster than you can skate, and you're going to run out of energy, and then you're going to have an open shot at some point. But the Canadians didn't do anything, did nothing during that 5-on-3, so it was hard to watch.
Yeah, it was a crazy game, but Man, and that one goal lasted for a very long time. And then I want to get Arun's take in here. I feel bad I haven't gotten his. And then also Tim. So Tim was actually watching it live here in the man cave, which was fun because he watched the Stanley Cup final, Game 5, with me here as well. And then the Cale Makar goal, when they scored in the second period there, I was like, oh no, momentum is out the window. We had to kind of win a 1-0 game. Arun, what were some of your takeaways when they scored their goal?
Which one? The Canadian?
The Canada, the time.
Yeah, it felt like the U.S. I didn't feel like the U.S. was going to shut out Canada, especially with how many opportunities they were getting throughout the game. It was just a matter of time that they were going to score. The U.S. was a little bit too unselfish to start the game. Matthews had a wide open shot to Chuck. They were kind of overpassing, and then I think the 5-on-3 was a weird turning point of momentum. Even though the U.S. killed it, the Canada dominated shots kind of after that point, and they got the goal, and it kind of continued like that into the third period as well.
Yeah. Tim, what were some of your takeaways, especially when Canada tied it and the opportunity started to swing their other way?
I wasn't very confident. I don't think most of the American fans were. You kind of felt like Canada was pressing for that go-ahead goal, and if anybody scored late in the third, it was only going to be Canada. And I think also that's a big reason why the U.S. was able to pull out the win was they probably felt like a moral victory just to get to OT, because really the U.S. played great in the first period, and that was pretty much it. I agree with Arun. The U.S. could have probably scored another goal in that first period when they had some momentum, but I mean they were just trying to survive at the end, and the goalie came up huge for the U.S. And it's funny because I've heard, at least in the NHL playoffs, he gets kind of leaky in big playoff games, so you don't necessarily expect him to come up big, but he played the game of his life. And I think just that one save that he had with I don't know if it was the handle of his stick, but it was right on the line.
Oh,
it was
yeah.
just one. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. That was one of the best saves I've ever seen. So
yeah, that one there rivaled the save. So
do you want your Canadian point of view on this?
The one that well, speaking of saying, the one save that got me though was it in the overtime when he was what's his name? Hellebuck was he was so far, I think he was on so far to the, well, if you're facing the ice from his perspective, he was so far up to one side, and I think it was McAvoy got behind him and actually saved that.
Yeah.
Was that in overtime?
I think that was in the third period.
Yeah, that was regulation. Right.
It was regulation.
He definitely saved a goal.
That was
his torso.
Yeah. Oh, crazy.
But Stuart, I do want to hear what were your thoughts on that crazy save and all that?
Well, it's not one save. 1998, Canada goes up against Czech Republic, and it was ugly. Hasek was insane. He only allowed 6 goals, which is the exact same number of goals that Hellebuck allowed this Olympic tournament. Right. Coincidentally, but Hasek stood on his head, and it was wild. And back then, we went to overtime against them. The only team to score 2 goals against them was Canada. Overtime back then was penalty shots, and we went penalty shots against Hasek. Our goalie only allowed 1 goal. I think it was Brodeur, if I remember right. I can't remember now. But anyways, our goalie allowed 1 goal, but Hasek stopped all the shots in the penalty shots, whatever, at the end. So. We've been through this before, and there's no doubt in my mind. I mean, after the game, I remember I read Robbie said, "Sorry, Robbie, I'm going to call you out on
that's
this."
The one.
Yeah.
I need them to understand.
When was that?
Why I need to do this.
Was that in the third period? I think that was the third period, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a third period. Anyway, so Robbie actually said after the game that the Americans put together the right team to win. I hate to say this, Robbie. No, they did not. If you think that allowing the Canadians to get 41 shots on you in 3 periods is a good strategy, or is a strategy at all, it is not. This was the most one-sided game I think I've ever seen where a team lost in the Olympics, because we had 41 shots. We had 33 to 18 shots in the second and third period. You don't let Canadians shoot that much unless your goalie's going to stand on his head. And we've suffered through Hellebuyck for 10 years. And I say suffered through because now I'm really getting pissed off at Hellebuyck. We've suffered through his, incompetence in the playoffs. He's absolutely awful in the playoffs. He goes to the Nations Cup last year, and the Americans gave us a freaking hell of a game. They almost won the goddamn thing, and Hellebuyck was a major part of it. And I'm going, is that the same Hellebuyck that, can't win a game for us in the playoffs and allows an average of like five goals in every playoff game? I'm watching Hellebuyck, and I'm going, what the hell? And then on this weekend, Hellebuyck did the same thing. He pulled a Hasek on us, and it was the most one-sided game I've ever seen. And the United States had one reason for the win and one reason only. It was because Hellebuyck stood on his head. You don't allow 41 shots against, he stopped breakaways from the best player in the world. He stopped a breakaway from the guy that's leading the entire Olympics in goals. He stopped Taves on that wild stick his hand behind his back with his stick in it. And he made some insane saves. He did what Hellebuyck does in regular season for the Jets. That's why he's one of the Vezina. But honestly, that game was so one-sided. It wasn't what you think it is. It wasn't the Americans beating Canada. It's Hellebuyck beating Canada. It was insane to watch. And all the power to him. He was crazy good. Yeah, that's the tape.
Look at that. That's insane.
Yeah.
It's like nearly identical.
This is what we call the save, Stuart, for the Capitals, Holtby, right? And so we were talking about how very similar.
And Hellebuyck, all the power to him. He won the game. All by himself, he won the game. All the Americans had to do was put up one goal and get lucky in overtime, and that's exactly what they did. We had shit like McKinnon missing an open net. You could have that guy do that shot 1,000 times in a row. If he misses it 5 times, I'd be surprised. It's probably less than 1% he'll miss that shot, and he literally missed the entire net. And I sitting there watching the game, going, by the time we got to overtime, I thought, yeah, this game's written for the Americans to win. There's no way we win this game because we're just not scoring for whatever reason. And Hellebuyck stood on his head. It was a one-team win.
That's gotta be so weird as a Jets fan to root against him, because that'd almost be like if we had the same thing if LT
we're rooting against Tom Wilson, I guess.
Yeah. Well, we were rooting against Tom Wilson and LT. This is why I found it funny because for once, we didn't want Tom Wilson hitting our guys, and so this quote was pretty funny that Dylan Larkin was talking about. Oh my God, I saw him coming and I knew not to reach. I saw him, and next thing I know, I'm getting smoked. He got me good. Haven't got hit like that in a long time. Didn't feel great after that, to be honest with you right now, but I feel amazing right now. So
that was wild. Yeah. Oh, I felt sorry for him.
Oh yeah, that hit. Yeah.
Yeah,
that was crazy.
This is Tom Wilson not being happy with Silver.
So I thought he held it together, Wilson. I thought he wasn't crying compared to most of the Canadian teammates, probably due to a lot of Capitals heartbreak that he's had to deal with.
You guys are talking about rooting. You're talking about rooting against Hellebuyck. I can't say I rooted against Hellebuyck. I love seeing Hellebuyck win, and it's kind of nice that he has a gold medal. But what really gets you is watching Hellebuyck do this against the Canadians when we can't get a playoff win out of the guy if our lives depend on it. I mean, we had one of the best teams in the league last year. We barely got through the first round, and then Hellebuyck fell completely apart in the second round. He wasn't even good in the first round, and we got lucky to win by getting that last second or the last 2 minutes. We got 3 goals in the last, or 2 goals in the last 2 minutes, and then went to overtime and scored in overtime to win in the 7th game. None of that was because Hellebuyck played good. We didn't get to the second round because of him, and we've never won anything because of him. So watching him win, it's a little frustrating as a Winnipegger, especially.
Yeah,
maybe he'll carry it over, though. I mean,
yeah, maybe this will be the push he needs. Yeah.
No, it won't be. No. I've watched enough years. I see what he does in the playoffs. Honestly, if someone said Binnington's up for trade, I'd say give him Hellebuyck. Give him the Vezina winner. He can go win Vezinas over there. I'd rather have someone like Binnington who actually plays in the big games and plays well.
Yeah.
He's not
it's funny. Binnington was so beloved and hated by different people, throughout the different process.
I loved this.
Oh, I like the Goudreau thing. I love that. I absolutely love that.
I think that this was such a special moment. Here was the game-winning goal. I did want to get a shot of that. Bringing out the whole family, the 2 kids and the jersey, I thought, made the whole entire nation cry.
That was cool. I didn't realize what they were doing at first when they held up the jersey. I couldn't read the name, and I saw 13. I'm going, who the hell is that? And then it occurred to me who it is. I went, oh, this is so cool.
Yeah, I didn't. At first, I thought it was the kids of the people. I just thought they grabbed their kids and were in the shot, and then I realized, who they had gone and got.
No,
And,
they're
Yeah, I
Ronnie's
thought the same
kids.
thing too. Yeah, yeah.
yeah. So, really cool moment. Obviously for both of them. I love this quote. I had to put this one up here. At 12:30 a.m., I went over to Jack and said, "You up?" He said, "Yeah, dreaming about scoring the game winner." So I thought that was kind of, funny.
More
and it was
teeth than
just
that picture.
yeah, exactly. Does.
I
I
see all
also
their
like.
teeth though.
Brock Nelson is kind of cool. His family is fourth gold medal in his family. His grandfather and great uncle were part of the 1960 group, and his uncle played on the 1980 winning team. So, like, there's
That's
Who was that? Who was that player?
uh,
The 1980 gold winner?
who was that?
Former Jet and former Cap Dave Christian.
Oh,
that's
wow.
right.
I did not know that.
So there you go. So yeah, pretty awesome. 8 of the 12 Team USA won were by women. So interesting thing I wanted to point out is some of the players, they don't know when they're going to get back to their team because they're supposed to maybe go to the White House or maybe not, and so it's kind of crazy that some of these teams thought they'd already get their players back, and they may not for a couple of days.
Still
just wanted to
hungover too. That's part of it.
Yeah, I want to put this graphic up just to underscore what Stuart said. I mean,
No, don't put that up for fuck's sake.
You look at 88 save percentage in
doing
the
it,
playoff and the 98 in the Olympics.
976 save percentage. Like, fuck, how can it? Fucking Hellebuck. God damn it.
Yeah. I thought this was a really cool thing that I wanted to put on here so they made Hughes write a letter, ESPN did, for the draft. To yourself in the future, what would you say, right? And then ESPN released what he had said at this draft in a post. And it said, "Your brothers made you who you are on and off the ice. I hope they'll be able to say you did the same for them and that they had great NHL careers too. Maybe you even suited up with them a couple of times in the NHL. Maybe we all represented the United States at the Olympics or World Championships. Maybe we won a gold medal or gold medals together. What an honor that would be."
Oh my God.
So that's pretty crazy that he wrote that. Jack wrote it 7 years ago.
That's pretty cool.
And there was one other story I wanted to share real quickly with everybody because I thought it was a really powerful story that I was reading earlier today. And it's related to this story. So their mom, Ellen Weinberg, when she was 22 years old, had an opportunity. She thought she was going to get to play in the games, and they moved it 4 years. And so she wasn't able to get to play in the first women's, in the Olympics for hockey. But she, decided to, raise, 3 young men and, had a dream that they could all be taken, first round, and they were, and able to, she was able to help them out and help the women out this year as well. She was called up. And so it was just really cool that her 2 sons, were able to win. One of them won the overtime winner to get them, past, a very tough, Sweden team, right? That was the game winner for that. Yep. And then, Jack to be able to get the game winner. And so the fact that she got to, help raise them, teach them the game of hockey, and instead of her dream, she was able to help the women's team this year get their dream and also help her sons, manifest their dreams. So I just thought a really powerful story that I was reading. If you want to read the whole story, it's a really long story. I'm not going to read the whole thing right now. You can go check out my Facebook page. I did share it this morning. And I just thought, what a powerful story about generations of hockey. And then we obviously have other brothers that are playing, the Kachucks, which are not my favorite brothers, but,
not yours.
Right, exactly. But I also thought this picture was great. So I just wanted to show how like family was an important part of this win for the United States, and just there was some really touching and
Yeah.
memorable stories that I wanted to mention there.
Um,
yeah.
So what's the order of the Hughes brothers?
Gil, do you know that?
I believe Quinn is the oldest. Jack is the middle brother, and Luke is the youngest.
Okay, I couldn't remember which one was the youngest, whether it was Jack or Luke.
Yeah. So
Yeah, he's gonna have a little bit of dental work done. It was funny. I was actually no. What's really funny is I was actually watching. For some reason, I had TMZ on in the background today when I was doing some work around the house, and they actually had the dentist for the New Jersey Devils on TMZ talking about the work they were going to have to do to fix his teeth.
That's
to
really
fix
funny.
Jack's teeth.
Yeah,
I was like, oh my god, they're talking about root canals, and they have to pull this one, and they have to put an implant here, or I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, wow.
This bone might
I
be
saw so many
broken,
tweets about like come to this state and we'll all do your dental work for free, you know, because everybody owes them. So, but yeah, I mean, the heroics to have a tooth knocked out like that and to be bleeding and to continue to play and to have the wherewithal to do it. It reminded me, Gil, we've talked about it a couple times. The game I went to where Ovi got like a broken nose and then went on to have 4 primary assists after that. But like, like it puts these guys in a different mindset. But like in other sports, they'd just be out, right? Like it's just hockey players are a different breed.
Hockey players are different. That's what we all say. And this is another proof point of it.
Yeah. Just wild stuff watching him party around Italy with just blood still like dripping from his face. Just does not care. But some wild stuff. But yeah, it was definitely a lot of fun. Stuart, I wanted to get your thoughts on a couple of other sports real quickly before we get you out of here. But what other main thing? I know you said you're really into curling. Was there any other main topics that you really liked over the last week?
The Canadian controversy in curling was absolutely hilarious. They're cheating. They got caught cheating. They yell at the guy on the ice, and then they double down after the game. And then Sweden produces films showing them cheating, and they double down on that. So they triple down, I guess, is better way to say it. And all of us in Canada are going, oh my God.
But were they technically cheating because he didn't touch it after it crossed the line. It was before the line.
No, it crossed the line. Believe me.
Had it crossed the line? Okay,
100% it did. And I was big time into curling when I was young. And if I could put my finger on it when just before it went, you could change the rock so much. You can make it move 10 feet. And people are all going, oh, it's just a finger. And no, he was pushing it with his finger where he wanted it to go, and it crossed the line. And there's video evidence.
Okay, so his finger was still on it when it crossed.
Still on it when it crossed the line. Okay. It doesn't have to completely cross the line. All it has to do is touch the line. You can't be touching the rock when it touches the line. And that's a big line. It's like 8 inches wide or whatever.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's
obvious. They make it big and obvious. But he cheated, right? So Canada doubling down at that point. Oh my God, everyone in Canada was pissed. Like everyone was pissed. Like, what the hell? Just say, you know what? Sorry, we got caught cheating. Walk away, right? But no, they're doubling down, and they still whined about it after they won the gold medal. I'm like, oh my God, you guys!
Wait! They caught cheating, and they still won the gold.
Yeah, they eventually won the gold. Yeah. And my wife and I are sitting there watching the game. We're like mixed feelings. We're kind of going, I'd rather see the British guy win. He's a super nice guy and he's got a good reputation and all that stuff. But there's more to that story. So Sweden is the first to accuse them of cheating, right? Mm-hmm. The Swedish skip had written an article, and it was a huge article about cheating in the double touch cheating going on in the sport. It's become an epidemic. It's really, really bad, and the whole sport is having problems with it because it's a major thing in the sport. Is that you can't do that second push on it with your finger after you let it go. So he did a big write-up on it, and the whole curling world was talking about it. It was a big thing a year ago, right? Nobody really paid attention. It was curling. None of you guys would have heard about it because it's curling, right? Unless you live in Winnipeg, which is the curling capital of the world. Nobody knows about it, but it was a big deal to them, and they hated it. So when they caught the Canadians cheating, and they caught them dead to rights cheating, the Canadian player they caught cheating is known for it. He's known to be possibly the worst in the world for cheating. Everybody that plays against him complains about it. He's constantly touching the rock with that extra finger as it crosses the line. So, the next day the Canadian women get called and the rock gets burnt because they got caught doing the same cheating. And they started whining, oh, they're zeroing in on us because we're Canadian. Yeah, because you're cheating.
Yeah. Well, didn't they? I saw something about they actually put sensors in the handle now.
Oh, yeah. So when you let go of the handle, you can't touch the rock again, right? So if you retouch it, the sensor will go off. But they're touching the rock part, which doesn't set off the sensor.
Yeah.
But that's way worse because you're pushing, the rock to the direction you want to go in. So she gets caught cheating. She whines about it. Oh, they're zeroing in on us because we're Canadian. Yeah, you're cheating. You're cheating. It's like there's no more to this. You're cheating. And the Swedish skip, when he wrote his article, he said it's worse than steroids in the Summer Olympics. It's way worse than that because it changes the game completely when someone does that. It 100% will change the game.
Sure.
So, yeah, so it's
because the way those rocks are made and the surface of the ice
and everyone thinks, it's a 42-pound rock or whatever. How can you change it with your finger? If you understand momentum and the physics and the science involved, just
inertia
and all that, it's just a little
laws of
it's like pushing a boat in the water. It's thousands of pounds of boat, but you can push it no sweat, right? Because it's not a big deal because there's not a lot of friction, right? So it's embarrassing for Canada. And honestly, I think a lot of Canadians were like me. We weren't happy that they won. When they won the gold medal, we're going, oh, that's not fair. And then the Canadian women, they whined about it, but they stopped cheating and all that. But the women we sent to the Olympics, this is her third Olympics, and she's been number one in the world for like a dozen years and never won a medal. So she wins a bronze medal this time. And I'm going, it's kind of fitting. You were caught cheating, so we can live with that. But no, Canada was embarrassed by it. We're not that kind of country. We don't want to do cheating to win. If you do whatever you can to win, just please don't cheat. It's not cool. It's just not.
That's America's style.
Exactly.
There we go.
We like to inflate balls and things like that over here. So.
Oh Jesus! Don't get me going on that.
But Stuart, I really appreciate you for coming on and giving your perspective and stuff like that, and sort of the ups and downs of rooting for player Connor all year long except for this, and then he has his best performance, but just a hell of a game. And it's just, we didn't really have enough
good hockey. It was fun to watch. It was intense. It was good hockey. I don't mind too much losing in a 2-1 game, because Hellebuck deserved the gold medal. So, and it's not such a bad thing to have our goalie be, the gold medal winner, right? So,
yeah, for sure. And I also want to say that the games leading up to it was a great tournament. It
was a lot of fun.
Really fun. I wish we had more time to go into all of those games, but I thought
scary moments for Canada coming up were hilarious. It's like we're down 2-0. It was like, oh my god, how can we be down 2-0?
Yeah, right. And then they came back down 2-0, and then there was a game where they were up, and then they lost it, and then they won it in overtime. And it's just and same thing with
kind of cool because no team has ever won both their playoff games by coming from behind ever to make it to the gold medal game. It's never happened before. So I thought that'd be kind of a cool stat if they came behind from the Americans when they tied it up. I thought, this would be so cool. All 3 playoff games they came from behind to win, but didn't happen. But it would have been a good story.
Yeah, and then the United States was the opposite. They were winning, and then they get tied in the very final minute of their previous game, and so that's tough because it's like, how do you regroup going into 3-on-3 when you thought you had it in the bag? And it's that Zibanejad who always gets us as Capitals fans, and so that was pretty rough too. But so just all in all, I wanted to put out there, it was a great tournament. I feel bad that Slovakia kind of fell off at the very end there because I thought
Slovakia didn't belong there. They didn't belong there.
I know, but they played such a great early tournament though. They just
they really did.
Yeah,
but I also want to point out because we talked about it. I looked up Andrea Brandley, the Finnish goalie.
Yeah,
she was pretty good.
Brandley was the Swiss goalie. She was actually Sani Ahola. Sani Ahola is what you're thinking of.
That wasn't the All-Star. That wasn't the All-Star. Andrea was the All-Star.
Right. Brandley made the All-Star team. She was fantastic. She was lights out.
It wasn't the Finnish goalie, because when you said the Finnish goalie, I'm trying to remember. I don't even remember her, but Brandley, I remember because she was freaking good. She had a 95% save percentage, and don't forget, she's playing Switzerland. She's not playing with American defensemen in front of her or anything, so she's getting way better shots than anybody. you know what? Maybe she was the best goalie in the tournament. I'd hate to see if she was on the American team, what would have happened. But
right, that's funny. That random guy on the internet was right that it wasn't that goalie, but wrong with which goalie it was.
He said Finnish. Yeah, he said Finnish. But it was
he said Finnish. That's why I said Finnish because you said Finnish.
Right? No, I
it said that in the comment. Yeah,
right, exactly.
No, but the Swiss goalie was freaking good, so I can live with her getting the All-Star selection there.
There you go. But
Frankel was something else. But
yeah, it's pretty wild. USA definitely had some good goaltending, and that's key in these short tournaments, especially with chemistry. You know, it's hard to build chemistry of a team, because that was my point. I agree, Stuart, that they let too many shots on goal, but I thought with the roster construction, and then we had this debate last week with Gil that there wasn't as much top end talent and firepower as you could have put on this team, but I don't know if that's the best counter to the firepower of Canada. I think you need to have penalty killers and people that are good at some of these other positions.
And you just pointed it out. It wasn't their 5-on-5 play. Definitely not. To Stuart's point, look at the shot count. What do I always say on my podcast? Look at the shot count. You want to see the measure of who's owning the game. Look at the shot count always. 33% more shots produced by Canada. It was not their 5-on-5 play that saved them. It was Hellebuck and their penalty kill that saved them.
The penalty kill, that was key. Because our 5-on-3 was embarrassing. And Canada 5-on-3 not scoring is like,
I was like, I thought for sure it was
I will say the American
over.
penalty killing, it killed us there. It absolutely did.
Yeah, 17.
But you know what? We could have won the game in so many different ways. The breakaways for McDavid and who's our big goal scorer there?
I think Celebrini had one.
Celebrini had a breakaway. Yeah, he led the entire Olympics in goals. And frick, that kid is good. Guys will be watching him for a few years coming out at you in Olympics. But he was amazing, and him and McDavid having breakaways, McKinnon missing a wide open net, Taves that insane save. I can think of one American chance where I thought they should have scored and they didn't, where there was a bit of a scramble in front of the net and it fell at the feet of an American player, and he tried to flick it in, but a Canadian defenseman got his skate in there. I don't know if you guys remember the play at all, but that's the only play.
That was Matt Tkachuk.
That was Tkachuk, wasn't it? Yeah. And that's the only play where I thought the Americans had a chance to go up 2-1, where I thought they could win the game. And other than that, the Canadians had dominated every scoring chance. Gil said it, you look at the shot count. It's all that matters, right? Right now in Canada, everyone's talking, saying, there's nothing we need to change. We just need Hellebuck to have a bad day, right? So, I don't think we have to change anything we did. It's just Americans had the
and I mean your team is going to be stacked for the future. I was looking at the prospect pool that you guys can pull from, and you have Macklin Celebrini that is
the players we left at home.
So I feel bad for Crosby that he didn't get to play, because I am curious if he would have made a difference.
That had to have been a very severe injury for him.
If he wasn't, that has to be.
I felt bad for him because he actually was having a hell of a tournament too. He was playing so good.
He was doing really well.
Yeah,
but maybe he just felt like
center. Wow.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe he thought that him at 50% wasn't as good as like somebody else at 100%.
I don't think he could have gone 50%. I think he was hurt. I think Gil's right. I think that's a hell of an injury he's got there right now. So it might not be a long-term thing, but it was bad enough that there's no way he could have been on the ice and playing. So.
Yeah.
And even though we have that extra player on the bench, the Canadians aren't stupid. They're going to go, well, if I can't play him and somebody else gets hurt, then we've lost a fourth line, right? So
yeah. That is wild that you get extra players for this tournament.
Isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I kind of wish that that you get that in the playoffs in the NHL. Yeah, even if it's just one extra player that you had to choose.
You know what? I'm going to agree, because there's always these. Someone gets hurt and all of a sudden you're down to 3 lines, and that makes a huge difference in a playoff game. If you can throw up someone and put on a fourth line and just get the okay.
Or you have like a Swiss Army blade, like it's one extra person. You choose whether it's going to be forward or D, and
right there you go.
You choose your own fate.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So,
Morrissey hasn't been hurt all year, so we don't need a defenseman. Oops.
Raquel made it to an elimination chamber.
Oh no. Yeah, I see that now. All right, Stuart. Any final thoughts before we let you go?
No. I hate hockey.
Uh,
I wore my Hellebuck Jets stuff here just make you guys all happy, but
Right.
fuck, I'm so fucking pissed off right now.
Yeah, you're a good sport. I really appreciate giving your perspective though on this.
Oh,
and,
yeah, thanks.
So
for-
Robbie,
it was-
so I know you messaged me after the game.
yeah,
I must have got 500 messages, and I just said, "Okay, phone's going down." I haven't picked up my phone for 2 days. I had to go into work today. They actually made me work. Yeah, retired guy working, isn't that odd? And I thought, there's no way I'm going to make it tonight. I'm not going to, there's no way I'll be able to come on here. And then I got off. We got the job done earlier than I expected. And I thought, oh, I better text Robbie. I totally forgot about you. So sorry about the
no, you're fine. It's fine. That's why I always try to message people day of because I never know. Like I know stuff comes up, and
I just forgot about you today. Sorry about that. But yesterday I wasn't replying to anyone yesterday. I just said fuck this, threw my phone away.
I don't blame you. I would have been very pissed as well. So
it was good hockey. I'm glad the Americans won and not some other team. They deserved it. So it's kind of nice.
I'll ask one final question. How did it feel rooting for Brad Marchand and Tom Wilson on a line?
I loved that actually.
Oh my god, I like Brad Marchand when he was in Boston because I'm also a Boston fan.
Right.
But ever since he left Boston, and he's playing with Tkachuk. I hate the guy now, and all of a sudden I'm cheering for them. Wilson got that hit, and I'm going, "Oh my god, I'm cheering for this hit! I can't believe it." I'm not a big fan of his either, but at least none of them were dirty. At least it was clean hockey throughout the tournament. So it was good to watch that way.
I like that he broke the record for NHL penalty minutes though in a Olympics. So that's kind of funny.
Did he really?
Yeah,
Really?
and he also has the only Gordie Howe ever now.
That was a good one. Yeah,
That's our boy.
There you go.
That's
Doing it
our
over the
boy.
French, no less, which I think is hilarious.
Him
And,
holding himself back was the best thing I've ever seen.
Well, and then the French guy got ejected from the entire rest of the games too.
Yeah, their team threw him out.
Yeah, well, and I found out later. So I said that last week they got thrown out, and it was because afterwards he was taunting fans, and so they were like they didn't like that as a
not a good representation.
Yeah,
of the
not
which I respect.
But apparently he has
that.
a reputation of doing that anyway. So
he had done that with like some goalies and stuff. So
he's their bad boy, obviously.
Yeah.
So
well.
Anyway, all right. Well, Stuart, thank you so much. I'll let you get out of here. Do you have to coach something tonight, or did you have the night off?
No. We're getting into the playoffs, so we're doing exhibition games now. We're trying to squeeze in some exhibition games.
What do you coach?
Soccer, men's soccer.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so I got a new team, and they're a hell of a team. They're just a bunch of guys that have never played together, so we're learning each other, and I'm getting them to work together as a team now, and we're ready for the playoffs. So I'm excited. I think we have a shot at winning the whole thing. So
that's good.
That's
Our
awesome.
indoor track season just finished Wednesday, so
I used to run for my university track team for years, and I ran in the Olympic trials in '84 too. So
no kidding, that's awesome. What event?
1,500 meters.
Nice.
Yeah, I should have been a sprinter, but don't know why I decided I could run far.
I was a 16:32 when I ran in high school, and I coached sprinters. I coached long sprinters. I coached 200, 300, 400 meter sprinters.
Yeah,
my girls 4x4 broke the school record at state on Wednesday, and they want to go to the Nike Nationals in New York City, which I want to take them. Well, I want to take them, but getting there is the problem because there's no way on God's green earth I will drive in New York City. It's just not going to happen.
I coached a girls team. We had a track team. Oh, I'm going to tell a story. Sorry, Robbie, you're stuck in here a little longer.
Yeah, you're fine.
It's actually a good story. So my daughter was a track star. Like she was like her dad. She's super fast and all this. So she ran a little bit shorter distance, like 400, 800, but she could sprint and she could sprint like you wouldn't believe. So I said, well, I'm going to coach you in high school, and we'll go through the high school thing. I go to coach the team. We have 4 girls on the team, literally have 4 girls, no more, no less. And 3 of them were sprinters. Right. And I thought, well, I kind of have a relay team here, but the one girl is not, there's no way she's a sprinter. She's a 1,500 meter runner, 800 meter runner. She's from Africa, so African black.
Right.
This is important because she walks up to me at the start of the grade 12 year, and she said to me, "I'm not very fast for a black girl." I said, "What the hell are you saying?" She says,
"What does that mean?"
I want to be fast, and I said, "Well, I can teach you to sprint if you want." She says, "I have to learn how to sprint because I'm not very fast for a black girl." And she was hilarious. She had the biggest sense of humor you've ever seen. So this is all a funny conversation. Okay. So I worked on making her a sprinter. By the end of the year, with 4 girls on the track team. We won the provincial champion 4x1.
Nice.
Yeah, we beat everybody, beat the entire province, and they were fast, unbelievably fast. So I turned this girl into a sprinter. I had 3 sprinters already, and we ended up winning the championship. So that was
There you go.
my daughter
Excellent.
Jillian. So yeah.
So our team finished 3rd in the state. They ran a 4:08, and I think provisional for Nikes is like 4:12 or something. I think 4:06 is like you're in, and then I think like 4:12 is provisional, so we're like right in the middle there.
Yeah, that's
it's
a decent
March
time. What state are you in?
Maryland.
Okay.
And that was the 2A schools. And actually, we were running the 2A and 3A state meets together. So they ran the 2A girls and they ran the 3A girls. We would have actually finished 3rd in the 3A girls.
I didn't look. All 5 of us are in Maryland right now on the screen with Stuart.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Usually we have some Virginia people. We're about to get 2 more Virginia people in the wrestling.
Sorry, I went on a track and field tangent there, but
you're fine.
That's my heart's desire was track and field. So
it's been a big part of my family too. My dad was a hurdler.
Yeah.
So
this is my first year as head coach. I was assistant coach last year for the track team, so this is my first year as head coach. And it's been. I love it. It's like herding cats, but it's okay. It's
yeah.
Teenage girls.
Yeah. Oh my God, I've coached every sport, everything you can imagine, and coaching teenage girls is like, oh my God, there's so much more to coaching teenage girls than boys. It's it's a lot more complicated.
Oh yeah, but it's a lot of fun.
It is fun. Yeah. It's rewarding as hell. So
I'm doing something right. So
awesome.
I'm doing something right because the AD said, "Are you going to stay on for outdoor as coach?" And I'm like, "Well, because it was my first year as indoor, so I was first year head coach for cross country, first year head coach for indoor. I was assistant coach for all these last year."
Oh, yeah.
And I said, "Well, unless you found somebody else," and she's like, "No, I really haven't been looking, to be honest with you." And I'm like, "Okay, I guess I'm in."
Yeah, it's usually what happens. Yeah.
All right, I see where this is going. All right, Karen. Yes, her name is Karen. Actually, her name is actually Karen.
It's funny that you have to like qualify that now. With Karen.
That's my daughter Jillian calling me.
Hello.
Literally, it says, look who's calling me.
Does she want to get on the stream? She's funny because she's in chat right here.
No, that's me calling saying it's my turn now.
Is she in chat here?
Yeah, she is in chat. So,
I should have put her on.
That's funny.
Sure about that.
All right. I'm trying to help get rid of him. She just wrote in chat. She's trying to get rid of you.
So she had something to say, obviously.
Yeah, that's so funny. All right. Well, if you want to check out Jillian, you can catch her streaming 5 days a week in the afternoon. She's a music streamer, and sometimes you can catch Stuart, aka the Modfather, over there as well.
Apparently, Jillian has something to say. What do you have to say, Jillian?
Okay.
Oh, as much as I love that you brag about me, like they've said bye to you like 20 times.
I know, and then I start telling stories, and then you know me, I can't shut up. So
even she knows that my time's getting cut.
That's so funny.
Jillian said, "Don't bring up other sports because my dad won't shut up. He'll just keep talking about whatever sport you bring up." So.
That's amazing.
Okay,
so
thanks
funny.
very much, guys. I'm wasting too much of your time.
No, you're fine. I love having you on, Stuart. And the next time the Jets play the Capitals, we'll have to get you back. So.
Oh God! Oh, you want me to talk about the Capitals? That's never a good idea.
One could only hope, but it's been fun, and maybe we'll see you in 2 years then for the Olympics again. So
Perfect.
There we go.
Exactly.
Have a good night,
one.
everyone.
All right. Tim, do you have any final thoughts that you wanted to share about this or any of the other sports topics real quick?
No, I mean, it was an awesome Olympics. It was great to see the game at your place yesterday, and good to chop it up today.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. So I really appreciate you coming over and watching with me. And it was good. We had French toast. My wife makes challah French toast and with bacon, and so it's definitely not kosher. It's a very very good.
Worked.
And it was good luck. So I appreciate you coming over, Tim, and we'll talk to you soon.
Yeah, definitely. Have a good one, guys. See you later.
All right, Tim. See ya.
Hi, Tim.
Bye.
All right, Gil, I'll let you give your final thoughts of any of the Olympic stuff, and then we'll get into wrestling, and we'll probably have Arun jump off for a little bit on the camera, and then we'll have him come back to talk about our GMV sports at the end.
Wow. I don't have that many, if at all, memories of the previous games. This one I will come away with a lot. I enjoyed just about everything I saw. The curling, all the sliding sports, even the skiing, which I don't usually watch a whole lot of. I enjoy that, figure skating, all of it, everything I saw. I was riveted. Probably first time, long time. So these were awesome games. Italians were great hosts. The hockey, I'm not going to say the gold medal men's game was the greatest I ever saw, but
it sure was a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun to watch. I don't remember being that glued to my set since the 87 Easter Epic for the Caps. Look that up if you're curious about what happened in that game. But I can't recall being that excited to watch a game since then. So yeah, it was great all around. I enjoyed it, all of it.
Yeah, no, I thought it was great. I mean, the announcers that were at ice level were saying that it was the fastest hockey game they've ever seen, and they've called playoff games and other games, and I believe it. The speed and what it looked like, how action packed it was. I thought that Team USA was really even with Canada through the first, and then it kind of fell off for them a little bit. I feel like they were taking a lot of shots, but staying in it a lot. Kind of like a prize fighter. Staying in the fight a little bit, and just trying to make it towards the end, and get lucky with a knockout blow at the very end kind of situation. But I do, Gil, we went back and forth on the construction of this team, but I do think that they were designed to be able to withstand some of that. I think that our goalie still had to stand on his head, which he did, but that was going to have to always be the type of game that we'd always have to win.
Very true. And you mentioned construction. I have to throw this in there. They were concerned beforehand about the rink. And there were some flaws in it, but the actual ice surface turned out to be pretty good. So Italianos, they were mentioned about the ice a hole. And a lot of talk, how you say it, debate. So we mastered the debate about the ice a hole, and we fix it. So just wanted to throw that out there.
You sound kind of like Swedish Chef mixed with an Italian person, which I think is kind of hilarious.
I was like, okay, having been to Italy, and I know
I studied in Italy too, but okay. I'll give you an A for effort, Gil.
It depends on where in Italy you're actually.
Right. But
don't listen to him, Gil. You sounded Italian. You got it. You had it, brother.
But it's funny because Gil now has talked about a lot of different Olympics with us. He had a French beret. I was looking back at old episodes of the Olympics, and so I do appreciate breaking it down. I can't believe this has been the third different Winter Olympics to go with our 3 Summer Olympics we've now covered over the 10 years. And so I had to put on this championship merch here. It just came in. You can get the brand new Districts of Champions merch. And on the back, nice. It's got all 5 champions that we've discussed. And really, I should have waited and did the gold medals as well. I know they're not DC championships, but I'm very proud of what both the men and women were able to do. And I had immense pride in that, and it'll obviously be one that we'll never forget.
To be honest, I was really, really torn because I really, really wanted Logan and Tommy to win those gold medals, but I'm so proud of the United States men and what they did. Yeah. So, I mean, I can't not be happy. So.
Right. I felt the same way. I felt going into it was going to be a win-win. As long as Tommy didn't get hurt, I was going to be happy. So,
yeah. Well, two of my girlfriends, 2 of my friends at church are like, are you okay? Are you going to be okay? I'm fine. No, really, I'm happy that the United States won. I'm ecstatic the United States won. I'm very happy they won.
I just think that none of us even considered that it was going to be a possibility, to be totally honest.
Yeah. I'm actually shocked that they won, to be honest with you. Yeah, it's more of it's more shocked than disappointed. No. I was not disappointed at all in them. They played hard and they earned it. But
Yeah, hopefully at some point Tommy will be able to understand that he put together a hell of a gold medal game and a great
yeah,
tournament,
he
and he should
he
be very proud
played.
about his silver. I mean, to be
Yeah,
honest, it's the
he
first
will
medal
be.
that a Capital has won since Nicholas Backstrom won silver.
Right.
So,
Exactly. So, I mean, and he played well. And Marty played well for, he
yeah,
played well.
I feel
So, I
bad that
mean,
they
it's
fell
like,
apart. I was hoping they'd get bronze, but
yeah,
that Finland team is really good. So,
yeah. And hey, Caps, you see what the Finns did? We need some of those guys over here.
yeah. For sure. All right. Well, let's switch over to wrestling. But Gil, I appreciate it as always, and we'll definitely. I wish we had more time to talk and preview the next week for the Caps, but we will recap those games next week and be able to talk more about that. And we'll have Anna back hopefully as well. And C4, thank you so much. You can stay on. We're going to talk a little wrestling right now. The phenomenal one is on on Raw, and we'll bring in Champ and Sith to see what he is talking about.
Yeah, I have it on, but I'm not listening.
Yeah, I'm going to drop off. We've had Champion Gorilla waiting for too long, so I'm just going to drop off. Good night, guys.
Thank you, Gil.
See you, Gil.
Man, Gil. Take care.
So Champ, I love the shirt, and it's hilarious because if you didn't see earlier, I'm actually wearing the exact same one.
Oh my god, that's fantastic.
We didn't even plan that. So I saw it when I tuned in the stream earlier, and I looked down, and I was like, oh shit. I thought that was pretty funny. So I kept it on. I did want to put the new merch on top, but I did want you to know that we are twins as well.
Twinsies.
Exactly.
That's fantastic.
So Sith, let me know what's going on with this phenomenal one. What is he talking about? I know that they were doing some sort of thing with him tonight.
Yeah, beautiful retirement speech. Here, AJ's thanking the crowd, thanking his family, the whole 9 yards. Here's a guy that I'm not sure about Chamber C4 or Robbie, but I saw this kid in TNA. And him and Samoa Joe were two of your big building blocks of TNA. Well, before Dixie Carter helped piss it down the toilet for a while. But AJ's one of those guys who you thought was going to be a TNA lifer until 2014. And then TNA offered him a very low ball contract offer where, get this, folks, 60% pay cut.
Oof.
So what does AJ do? He says, thanks for the memories. And he goes on the indies, goes to New Japan, becomes a member of the Bullet Club. Then 2016 comes to WWE and just rocks it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This is a really nice retirement speech. This is really cool. Wait, what is happening?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think Gunther's done.
He's putting his jacket down.
Yeah, he's done.
He's done.
He's bidding us adieu. Although I wouldn't mind them in TNA one last time.
Yeah. I don't know.
Okay.
Because I wanted to take them with me to the house and come here to Atlanta and be in this ring.
Yeah.
And leave my gloves.
Leave them home.
Yeah.
At home.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Wow.
We love you, AJ. We love you,
sir.
man.
Yes, sir.
That's a cool moment.
That's a really coul moment.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's cool that we got to all experience together. We actually have a new friend in chat, Emma Meek Photo, and big time wrestling fan, and they're also from the UK, and they photograph wrestling in the UK actually.
Wow. It's funny that I had to get some blood drawn at the doctor's office the other day, and I was wearing my Rhea Ripley shirt, and the phlebotomist is a WWE fan, and we were talking about stuff.
So yeah, go follow Emma Meek Photo, and you can watch them actually edit photographs from wrestling and stuff like that.
Nice.
So I'm going to follow them myself right now. They're part of the same community that we are, which if anybody wants to join and be a part of that, it's the Web Creative community, and it's a lot of different creative people who are. I do videography on Wednesdays. I usually do a video editing stream. And
what's her name? Emma Meek Photo.
Yeah. And,
hey, C4, it's funny you mentioned, you said you're from Bottomless. You found out that they were a wrestling fan. I found out one of my cousins on my mother's side, her son, who's another one of my cousins, is also a wrestling fan. And I told her, I said, hey, family, listen to my podcast and to give it to your son, stuff like that, you know?
Yeah.
But people don't realize wrestling fans are all over. It's just that now it's more fashionable to be a wrestling fan because wrestling's actually good.
Yeah.
You know, back in the day, it wasn't cool to be a wrestling fan because wrestling was so shit.
Yep. I want to thank everyone. We got Tina French and Dreaming Truth in chat. So we got a lot of people watching, a lot of people lurking today. I really appreciate the raid earlier, with from Sith and Champ, and they had a great stream earlier. Definitely go check out the No Spots podcast. They broke down some of their favorite.
No, DJ, don't you start crying because I'm going to start crying. No.
You're not crying, C4. I'm crying.
Do not.
Yeah, they have the entire.
No! No!
Oh.
Oh no.
It's the dead man.
Yeah.
It's Undertaker.
No.
Hold on. I gotta pause my game. I can't play no more. Get right now.
I have goosebumps right now. This is cool watching this right now.
Well, when you think about it, historically, Taker was AJ was Taker's last opponent. So to have the badass back to say goodbye to Allen makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, AJ retired Taker. Even though Taker won that match, he retired Taker. And this is perfect, bro.
Oh my God.
I'll never forget. This was back before we did Twitch or anything like that. We were still on Blog Talk Radio.
Mm-hmm.
Champ and Donnie going, yo, Sith, what's that song being played? I'm like, now that we're dead, Metallica, one of the few good songs they've had since Death Magnetic off of their Hardwired to Self-Destruct album, which, tomorrow on TikTok, someone asked me to rank the last 4 Metallica albums, and I'm like, oh, fuck, no.
Yeah, that's what you get for torturing me with some of those sinister countdowns you had. That's what you get.
Yeah. All right, hear me out. The last 4 have been a compromise. Does that make sense? Of, okay, are we going to do alternative friendly airplay or do the stuff that we were used to back in the day, back when we were doing the thrash metal stuff, trying to do a compromise. And it's like, it's okay, but, I wish they would pick, it's a lot like, the Evil Dead franchise. You want them to pick a side straight on horror, straight on slapstick.
What?
What?
Uh-oh.
What is Wait.
Unfinished business.
You ever hear the phrase, if you see me coming, you're already gone.
Uh-oh.
I changed that phrase a little bit. Because if you see me
coming, that means
you're going.
Wait.
Whoa.
AJ.
Hall of Fame?
No, man.
Yes, it is!
My esteemed honor.
Yes.
Really?
To inform you.
Oh, wow. I have goosebumps.
Wow.
Wow.
Champ, we called it.
Yeah.
We said he was going to the Hall of Fame, both TNA and WWE.
Wow.
Mark it. Come October, TNA Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's
wow.
going. That's awesome.
Hall of Fame Allen, baby. I love it. This is awesome. This is awesome.
What a cool thing. So they even surprised him because he just thought he was just doing his retirement.
And his family.
And the whole crowd is chanting, "You deserve it." And
they do. He does.
Yeah, and his whole family is there. This is what a great moment.
His wife, his kids.
Oh my god.
Wow. So it's
So AJ's gonna be back at WrestleMania to accept this honor. That's awesome.
how they bring him back at WrestleMania. That's brilliant.
Yeah, he's gonna be back at WrestleMania with Stephanie and all them. Because this is the same class with Stephanie McMahon.
Mm-hmm.
This is the same. He's sharing the class with Stephanie McMahon. Hey.
Wow.
And look. And the crazy thing is that this is not the first time that the WWE put somebody in the Hall of Fame almost on a quick turnaround. Eddie Guerrero back in 2006, after he passed away in October 2005. That very next year, he was inducted posthumously into the Hall of Fame. So they've done it before, but it seems like in the Triple H era, they're making sure that people get their flowers and they get their flowers immediately. I mean, look at both Paul Heyman and Rey Mysterio. Both of them are still active and they are in the Hall of Fame. So, I mean,
do you think that
really great.
There's any chance he still wrestles in TNA now, or do you think that this sort of puts a cap to that completely?
I would. Sif, you go ahead first. I gotta think on that one. I gotta think of that one, bro.
TNA, I say let the Hall of Fame hit WWE at WrestleMania. Then, knowing TNA, bring him in. Once your Slammiversary is the weekend before WrestleMania. Okay, so let's set that stage. You could bring him in after Mania, have him do like a 4 or 5 month stint, then come October, Bound for Glory, Hall of Fame, because TNA does their Bound for Glory for the Hall of Fame inductions. So I say, even if he doesn't go in the ring, they'll set it up for him to go in and Bound for Glory. So he's going to be a double Hall of Famer by the end of the year.
So I actually would be curious if they use him on TNA, but in like a different way, as like a someone who's a not wrestling character, and use him that way to try to build up what they're doing with TNA. But
if TNA were smart, especially knowing that they have this network deal with AMC, if they were smart, they would have AJ on there to pop the ratings. Now, don't get me wrong. I've looked at their recent ratings report, and I think they hit over 200,000 just this past week. So they are starting to see an increase in their viewership. But I think you could increase your viewership even more if you have Alan Jones, a.k.a. AJ Styles, on there at least 2 or 3 times over the course of a 6-month period. I think you can see a viewership pop with that.
The last 3 weeks, they've gone over 200,000 on AMC. So they have started to build a base there week to week. And I can probably count maybe on one hand, maybe 2, since they left Spike, which is now Paramount Network, where they eclipsed 200,000 weekly. Because they went to Destination America, then they went to Pop TV, then they went to Access TV, and they were just dealing with fewer and fewer exposure to houses. Now you're back on AMC, where even if you have YouTube TV, it's in the package there, I think. It's listed in most of these streaming packages, as well as the AMC Plus gimmick, along with AMC proper on cable. So TNA is getting more eyes to the product here in the US than they've had in over a decade. So by all means, bring in AJ Styles, major ratings pop, and even better, bring him in for your live shows. which they
yeah.
haven't quite worked out the gimmick yet for these live Thursday night shows. Yet they're working on it. It's like a work in progress, if you will. But if you bring them in for the live shows the next couple of months to build to the Hall of Fame, those ratings are going to skyrocket.
Yeah, I agree. So Arun did our RG3 fact of the day. He said the Undertaker is number 4 in RG3's top 5 greatest wrestlers of all time. So
there you go.
A fun fact. All right, Champ, you and Sith, I'm gonna have to go for like 2 minutes real quick, but can you guys break down last week's SmackDown for people who missed it, and also what happened with the Elimination Chamber earlier on Raw today?
Right. Sith, go ahead.
Yeah, SmackDown. What I feared would happen, what the shift to 3 hours has officially happened. You can ask Champ how he feels. But even though Champ and I watch it on our respective VPNs where we get the shows ad-free on Netflix because we change our servers to either Australia or Europe, you felt the 3 hours.
Yeah.
You felt it. And
it was worse with the commercials.
Yeah, it's just as bad, if not worse, with commercials. But it's even worse, C4, is the fact that the thing I didn't like the most about the 3-hour format last year is resurfaced, where you have this lull for about 45 minutes or so, and it's just like you had it going towards the Rumble really well. You guys had a blueprint. On the bright side, you're building out new talent, which is good. I mean, Kiana James, get rid of the gimmick she's got and let her show what she's worth in the chamber. This could be another case of Elimination Chamber Perth when Tiffany Stratton showed up and showed out. She didn't. I don't think necessarily that Kiana James is going to win.
Right.
But this is her chance to break out and show what she can do. Instead of being a lackey character. So I like that. Trick coming in, Champ and I marked out about that. We've loved Trick Williams. We've loved him ever since. Yeah. So Trick's awesome.
He's
tonight. Raquel getting in, okay, that's fun because you can have a little bit of a dynamic there, which is cool. And honestly, what I just sent into the group chat kind of hurts.
Hold on, Seth. What was you saying? Hold on, Seth. What are you saying, C4?
I said I was kind of glad that Io didn't get in because she and Rhea kind of have that chemistry going, and I don't know. I'm not ready for that to break up yet, and I think that would have. But I think it's coming eventually. Yeah. Io's going to want to break out, but I don't think I'm ready for that yet. So
I like Rhea. I like Raquel being in it because Rhea's in it as well. So you have that dynamic right there. Yes, you're gonna have a couple more smaller wrestlers in there, but you have those two big.
I think it's gonna come. I think it's gonna come down to them too. To be honest with you.
You think it's gonna come down to Raquel and Rhea?
Before you need to join us Saturday night.
She's busy. She's too busy for us. We're low grade compared to her. She's too busy.
Yeah. I'll join you guys off. That's fine.
That'd be fine.
If I'm available, I mean, you know how to get in touch with me. I'm on Facebook.
And I sent something in the group chat. Guess who was supposed to win tonight?
It's supposed to be Big Bronson Reed, but apparently he suffered a legit injury during that matchup, which led to Jey Uso winning.
Yeah.
I know. I was like, although that was impressive, El Grande Americana putting that German suplex on him. That was pretty impressive. But I mean, and actually I think I said in another chat, let me see if I can find it. I was talking on Discord.
I mean, it's Chad fucking Gable.
Well, we all know that.
Either way, it was impressive as hell.
Oh, hell yeah.
So the other Grande Americana didn't interfere with this one?
No, it was...
I thought that was my pre-match prediction that was going to happen, was he was going to interfere with him and not let him get into the elimination, into the qualifier, or out of the qualifier,
but I think the injury to Bronson Reed, that probably could have been a plan that was in place, but when Bronson got legit hurt, I think they had to change it on the fly.
Yeah, I don't
have
think. I mean, of the two, I think Oso is probably the better choice. I don't think El Grande Americano is serious enough, I guess, for lack of a better way of putting it, just because of all the other stuff going on with the other ones.
Yeah.
That whole thing, you talk about a shit show, that whole thing's a shit show. It's like, it's like.
Note to Jay, in the middle of the chamber, do not run it back, please and thank you.
He's going to run it back at it. Like, if he's not in the first two, as soon as he comes out the pod, he's going to run it back then. That's what he's going to do it.
That I won't mind. I mean, like, after he's done it, and he's in the middle of the match and he's already run it back once. Just don't do it again, because that happened at the Rumble and I was just like, it makes sense to run it back.
But that's his gimmick.
Yeah, that's his gimmick, though.
That's his gimmick. Either way.
So I'm waiting for the YouTube dislikes.
Emma in chat wants all 4 Americanos in the Elimination Chamber at once.
Now that I would pay to see. Take my money for that.
Yeah.
Put the 4 of them in there and let them settle it once and for all.
Right. That'd be wild.
It needs to be a Hell in a Cell mass versus mass match between the Grande Americanos.
Yeah.
That would be highly entertaining, and that would be highly fun to watch, and it would be just like violence galore and stuff like that. It'd be great.
That would be a great WrestleMania match.
That would be fun.
Yeah.
And then they all unmask, and then somebody's gonna get unmasked at the end.
Yeah.
Preliminary wise, I've got Cody winning the men's chamber in the hopes that if he does, it's Drew versus Cody inside of Hell in a Cell to finish that story off at WrestleMania.
Yes.
Because you're not having that as a PLE anymore. So why not have it as one of your matches on the biggest stage of all and have it for your championship? Do it there. Women, I don't know yet. I like having this uncertain feel as to who could win, because everyone can make a case for winning except Kiana James. Raquel probably wouldn't pick, although it would be cool to see her break away from the Judgment Day drama over here.
Yeah. I think
you want someone from SmackDown. Let me get on my laptop real quick. Let y'all talk while I look up participants real quick.
Champ, do you have a feeling on who you think that's going to win?
I have no clue, especially now that Raquel is in there. I didn't have a clue even before this last qualifier for the women. So usually I don't make a decision until day of recording the podcast, and that's when I decide who I'm picking for these matches. So it'll probably come down to Friday by the time I make a decision on who I want to pick for any of these matches, especially the chamber matches. Though the 2 championship matches that are on the card, CM Punk and Finn Balor for the world title, and Becky and AJ Lee for the Women's Intercontinental Championship, both matches don't have that level of predictability that you would expect from these championship matches, especially because they keep talking about on commentary of CM Punk taking a risk of defending the title before WrestleMania, and that they have this big WrestleMania match set up, Roman Reigns versus CM Punk, this, that, and the third. So it takes away that level of predictability of everybody thinking, oh, CM Punk's going to retain so he have his match with Roman Reigns. That's not on the table. Well, that's one of the options on the table. The other option is Finn Balor winning the World Heavyweight Championship. That's an option, and it's looking like an option that could actually happen. The way that they've been talking, the way these promos, everything. So it's hard for me to say that match is predictable, and it's hard for me to say Becky and AJ is predictable either, because you can easily put the title on AJ, even though she's been doing a little bit of a part-time thing. You can put the title on her, and then someone else can win it off her at WrestleMania or something like that. Or you can keep the title on Becky, and an even bigger baby face can come and take it from her at WrestleMania. So that's why you have those options on the table. What's up?
You're going to have to forgive me. The Royal Tenenbaums just flashed in my head when Eli's promoting his book. We all know that Custer died at Custer's last stand, but what we're saying here is, What if he didn't?
Oh my God.
What was your question, C4?
Yeah.
So I can see Finn and CM Punk. So say Finn wins the title off Punk. Does he leave Judgment Day and turn face?
Well, Punk and AJ are the closest thing that Chicago gets to real champions of late. So let's.
You know what, Seth? You know what? You gotta stop that shit.
It's pretty funny. So Emma in chat actually knows Finn, and she said, "I love CM Punk, but Finn is my boy. I know him, and he be a real grifter. He deserves to win." And she said that he wrestled for the promotion I shoot for. He's such a lovely guy, so humble, so hardworking, and just a good human. And so that's such a great story to hear.
Yeah, because I mean, because like I said, we were my phlebotomist and I were actually just talking about that, because it's like Judgment Day's turned into just they're falling apart. And when was it Drew talking to Finn the other day, saying how Finn, I'm like, wonder if they're setting up Finn to turn face.
I think they are, because he started back using his old theme music, the big reaction he got in Ireland and everything like that. I think they are setting up for Finn to once again go back to being a face again, which would be a welcome change, because he's a really good face and he can get the crowd behind him, especially if he's bringing back his old music, one, and two, if he brings back the Demon.
Yeah, I was gonna say that was my next question: is he bringing back the Demon if he goes face? Sith, what do you think of that?
Main character I would love to have back, especially with Paul Levesque running creative. Vince running creative really did not do wonders for the Demon gimmick at all, especially the match that he had with Bray Wyatt with The Fiend, and how they ended that match was absolutely loopy. And it really hurt Finn big time in that match as the character of the Demon, because the Demon was supposed to be this indestructible being, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
If we're not going to get the Demon back, I want the Prince gimmick back, but non-Judgment Day bullshit.
Yeah.
Where he could be a tweener or a face, and the fans will get behind it. But if you can bring back the Finn Balor of NXT in 2016 as a babyface, Demon or non, it'll work wonders for him. If you bring him back and you, again, hold the carpet again and go, no, he's not leaving Judgment Day, just like what they've done with other stories these days, I'm going to feel like, why are we doing this again?
So who does he ally himself in a face turn, with a possible Demon character? Because I feel like doing it alone is difficult in today's WWE. Like, you need to have people in sort of your corner. Champ, do you have any thoughts on that?
I mean, he was able to pull off the Demon so well when he came to WWE as a face, and of course, when he was a heel, you didn't really see the Demon that much, but he pulled it off so well as a babyface. I think he can pull it off again as a babyface, and I think it would be, again, a welcome change, especially for much newer fans who didn't get to see Finn Balor in the mid-2010s when he was a Demon in NXT, running NXT, and then coming up to the main roster and basically being like just I would say shafted. Like, I could sit here and me and Sith could sit here all night and talk about the mistakes Vince made as a booker, especially late in his tenure, but we don't have time for all that.
No.
We ain't got time for all that.
Okay.
Us older folks gotta go to bed.
Champ.
What's that? What happened?
You know who I want to see work with the greatness that is Finn Balor? Complete contrast to Styles, but he's young. He's an upstart, and it could work. Oddly, it could work. The bouncy OG, Javon Evans.
Why did I predict that in my head while I was sitting here listening to you talk?
That would
predict that in my head?
Fun.
Okay.
I love that.
What about like joining like the Wyatt Six or something like that? They've got that creepy gimmick vibe thing going, and I think he could like take over and help lead that group. Like I don't know, because I feel like that group has never found its way, and I
Yeah.
wonder. Yeah.
That is the fault of creative on SmackDown's end, where you had something that was going to be red hot in the White Six, and now it's just like it's stuck in limbo. And it's something that, like, for example, Tamatonga winning on SmackDown, against Dragunov, because, hey, he's can go after Melo. That's great. But under the why are we doing this again? You take the focus off a possible match with Melo, go right back to MFTs and the Wyatts, and it's like you're setting up something great over here for Tamatonga. What the fuck?
Yeah. Interesting. Well, Seth, I'll let you give your final thoughts because I know that you have to head off.
Yeah.
And I'll let C4 do the same, and then we'll bring in.
I'll let C4 go first. Ladies first.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
So anyway, yep.
So, C4, any final thoughts that you have? You can talk about Capitals, stuff you've got coming up, or anything else.
Yeah, so looking forward to the Capitals getting back on the ice. Did go to the Hershey Bears game on Saturday. It was not pretty. Actually, it started out not pretty. We came back and tied it, and then they scored an empty netter. The Phantoms did, but
I hate that it's the Phantoms, the worst. So
yeah, well, the Flyers, it's okay.
Yeah.
But no, it was a lot of fun. I mean, and I renewed my season ticket, so I'll be going to a lot more Bears games next year too. So
nice.
They're like a quarter of the cost of Capitals tickets. So
I still have to take you up on that offer and go with you to a game at some point. So yeah. I've always wanted to go see a Hershey Bears game, so that's cool.
There may be a game or two that I can't go to that Mark. Yeah. But we got really good seats. We're about, I don't know, halfway up, right under where the Zamboni comes out, looking down the ice. It's great. You can see everything. But
are the Bears going to make the playoffs this year?
I don't know.
Yeah, they're kind of on the.
Close.
They're like the Capitals. They're on the border. It's interesting because they were so dominant for like a 3-year period, and then
the coaching this year is not great. They probably they're fourth in their division right now, so they probably have a better chance than the Capitals, to be honest with you. 9th in the conference. So
yeah, they're right there.
They're right there on that bubble. So
yeah, we'll see. We'll definitely have you let us know more about the Hershey Bears, and we got some big Caps games coming up this week, and we'll recap those next week as well. But I also want to tell everyone to go check out the Circurum Capitals Off Their Chain, which is part of the All Sports Podcast Network on YouTube, and you can catch more C3 stuff. They also have wrestling and other sports as well.
Yeah, I'm not sure when we're recording next. We're on a bit of a hiatus right now. Marcus is he wasn't feeling very well, so we postponed a couple of things, but I'll shoot you a text or a note when I know we're recording again,
or people just follow the YouTube channel.
That's true. And he's getting ready to start up his MLB Hot Shots again now that baseball's starting to gear up again, so he'll be starting that podcast up again.
He's a Yankees fan, right?
Yes, Yankees fan.
Yankee lose.
I'm actually also a Yankees fan.
Yankee lose.
My dad was a Yankees fan.
Yeah, my dad and mom are also Yankees fans. I know how that is. But
my family didn't watch baseball. I'm a Nats fan. So
my late husband was a huge Orioles fan, so I followed the Orioles, and I do follow the Nationals because they're local. And a matter of fact, we are going to opening day for the Nationals.
Oh, cool.
W.
Yeah, you have to tell us how that went. Yeah.
And then Marcus got tickets for the game where they're giving away the City Series hockey jersey, which I can't go to because I have a track meet
Nice.
Said, please
That's awesome.
try and get me one.
I definitely want to take the kids to more Nats games. They are fun.
And they're cheap.
Yeah. Well, I'm such a big fan of the Keys because Frederick is closer and
they're getting their Orioles affiliation back. Did you hear
I
that?
know.
I'm so
Thank
excited.
you.
I'm like, yes.
I'm so happy they got their affiliation back.
I have not been to a Keys game since they
de-affiliated.
Yeah,
they deserved it. They've got such a diehard following.
They had one of the best attendance records in the entire Carolina League.
Yeah.
But we'll have to do that. We'll have to get together, maybe get a group of us and go.
Oh yeah, my kids love going to Frederick Keys games. Yeah.
10 minutes away.
Yeah. And so that's a perfect in between place. We'll definitely do that this year. And
we'll have to get together.
And it's a lot of fun, especially because they have all these kids corner and the kids love it. And
they're building a water park.
And so I know it's gonna be. They're building all sorts of cool new stuff. So I'm very excited. So. Anyway, that's awesome. We'll definitely catch C4. We'll definitely have you back on as the Capitals season over the next couple of weeks. We got a live, it's a Wizards post game show next week. Then there's a live Caps game the week after that, and then it's a Wizards post game. So those are the next 3 weeks going into March. We'll also have some March Madness coverage. We may even have EJ return with some of his March Madness coverage as well. So, but C4, it's been great to have you. I'm so happy that
enjoy the rest of this track-free week.
I know. And do you have any more?
Outdoor starts on the 28th.
Okay. Oh wow. All right. There you go.
The
so
state
are you the head coach or are you the assistant coach?
No, I am head coach.
Oh wow! Congratulations for keeping the titles. So
because well, I don't know if I think you had stepped away when I was telling the story. The AD was asking, hey, did I want to be head coach for the spring? And I was like, well, yeah, I'll do it. I mean, unless you found somebody else. And she said, well, honestly, I haven't really looked for anybody else. So I'm like, oh, I guess I don't have. Okay. I see how it is. Okay.
Right. Well, congratulations. That's awesome. So that's good to hear. And I'm happy that your girls did great in the indoors as well. And it's awesome. All right. Well, we'll definitely have you back on next week and in the upcoming weeks as well. And hopefully the Caps can find a way to get the last playoff spot or whatever. So we'll see.
If we do, it's going to be the skin of our teeth, I tell you.
I know. Yeah.
We're going to have to play hard.
Yeah,
and I think I haven't looked at the schedule, but
it's hard. I looked at it. It's not. It's kind of
it's not going to be easy.
Yeah, but hopefully we will. All right.
Yep. All right. Take care, guys. I'll talk to y'all soon.
All right. Bye, C4.
Take it easy.
Later, C4.
All right. And Sith, your final thoughts?
Yeah, Sith Spaceman. Oh God. This past Sunday I did. Let me think here. Alien, Predator, AVP. A whole bunch of franchises for 49 Film Countdown by request. And then this coming Sunday, it'll be Harry Potter, excluding Fantastic Beasts, Middle Earth, The Matrix, and Mad Max, and Blade Runner. And the thing about Middle Earth is I left out the extended cuts because I'm like, looking vanity projects. Especially with The Hobbit, which, long story short, if you will, you only needed 2 movies for The Hobbit. You didn't need 3.
Yeah.
You know, it's like I read the book when I was a kid, and I'm like, why are we getting 3? They're decent to good movies, but it's a case of like I didn't really care for a lot of the stuff over here. Yeah. And where it came to the 49
I
film.
I did not like the Hobbit movies very much. I thought that they were.
I love the Middle Earth things because I grew up reading those books and everything from Tolkien and everything. But the problem with Peter Jackson. Peter Jackson is he did those films and he turned it into vanity projects. It's like, bruh, but they're still good movies though. With the countdown that comes out on Sunday, there's only one movie I don't like. Everything else is decent, good, great, which is pretty cool. And also, Champ's going to handle no spots, but Champ and I are doing live reactions this weekend.
Nice.
Oh boy, that's going to be wild. So we got a lot going on between the 2 shows. And one quick thought for you all. I grew up a Neil Diamond fan. My parents raised me on him a little bit. Songs on Blue fucking suck. Champ knows this. I had to watch Kill Bill the whole bloody affair last night and start watching Twin Peaks again to get the stink out of my mouth from watching that movie. It was that bad.
Oh no. By the way, Crime 101 is a good movie. I liked it. So
gave that a 3.75 out of 5. I thought that was really, really good.
Yeah. Thought I had a good cast.
I'm over here thinking January wasn't that bad. February's been pretty decent, pretty good. Maybe this is 2023 where you have films that are bad that I'll get to at some point that come out this year. But this is right. We have 2023 where it started off pretty good. You had like one bad movie in like the first 2 months of 2023. That was abhorrently bad that I saw in theaters. A couple where I'm like, whatever. But getting good vibes so far.
Did you ever see 28 Years Later, the second one?
It was good.
Okay.
Better than 28 Years Later. I think that Nina Costa as a director has found her thing. She did the Candyman reboot sequel back in 2021. The Marvelous, she was just stuck with a project that was just there. I
never saw the Bone Collector one because I don't know how I felt about the first one because I was like, I don't know if I needed, I question it. But if you think it's okay, I'll go back and check it out.
Big fan of 28 Days Later, 28
I am
later.
too. I thought that to me was the biggest letdown of the series so far. So
Years, the first one that came out last year, that was a letdown. I'm like, how could you go? You had the blueprint, but it was still decent. Bone Temple's a lot better than that. Okay. So that's a good
I thought it was okay, but I didn't think it was good enough that I had to because for me, I have this pass, so it's 50 cents to see a movie, so it's fine. But you have to still pay for a babysitter, so it's got to be worth your time, to go out to the movies, and so we only see a certain number, every month, and I just didn't know if Bone Collector was going to be one of the ones. So it's
I'm waiting for is this summer though. Christopher Nolan with The Odyssey.
Yes, that looks so good.
Oh God. I told a friend of mine, I said, by hook or by crook, I want to see that in IMAX. I said, Oppenheimer, I didn't see the idea of that in IMAX, but this, IMAX. But
what are your thoughts on the Scream franchise? Are you going to keep on watching them or no?
I'm going in guarded with this one. The last two films have reminded me of 3 and 4, where the first 2 chapters are really good, but the third act.
I never saw 5 and 6. I'll be honest. I've only seen 1 through 4.
I'm going in guarded. I mean, Scream along with The Evil Dead are 2 very consistent horror franchises where all the movies are good to great. But I got this low-hanging fruit with 7 because I'm like, okay, we really need to get rid of some of these OG characters badly, but we're still holding on to them.
Yeah.
So it's like I want to see something different in 7, so we'll have to wait and see. I'm seeing that possibly on Sunday.
Yeah.
So if all else fails, either Monday if I come back or the following Friday.
I'm not going to see it. I'm going to wait for you to tell me if it's worth seeing. So I'll wait for your review on that one.
I'll message you in the group chat once I see it.
Yeah, for sure. All right, well, definitely next week we'll have you back to talk with the Elimination Chamber and the Fallout and all that sort of stuff. That'll be a fun episode. We'll definitely do hockey talk in the first hour, and we'll do wrestling talk to start hour 2. But Sith, I appreciate you doing the double dip. What, you guys are filming the actual podcast on Friday, you said, for next week?
Yeah. Champ will give you all the details on that, but Friday night, I believe.
Yeah, awesome. Sounds good. All right, Seth, well, I'll let you get out of here. We're going to have you replaced with the magical powers, and then Arun is going to take, coming back.
Yes, that is Arun. Arun, I am out of here, bro. You can take it away, my friend.
All right.
See you later.
See ya. Have a good one. All right, we're going to... So, which do you want to talk about first? I'll let Arun make the choice. We're going to talk Wizards, we're going to talk at the beginning of the soccer, or we're going to talk about the Nets and their spring training. Which do you want to talk about first, Arun?
We can talk about I can talk about the Wizards or Nationals, but I don't know, DC United, I haven't really been keeping up.
All right. We'll start off with we're going to start off with DC United, and then we'll get your thoughts on the other two. Champ, I know you wanted to talk about. They actually got a win in their first game of the year.
Yep, their first game of the season, their first game of the year, a 1-0 shutout victory over Philadelphia Union. The one goal came from Tao Baribio, who got it in the 23rd minute of the contest. So that was the only goal scored in the game. 7 shots for DC United, with 3 of them on target, with 1 of them going in for the goal. They also had 12 fouls. They also had 2 yellow cards, but Philadelphia was just racking up the yellow cards. They had 4 yellow cards and a red card in this one, committing 13 fouls. They had 10 shots, but only 2 of them were on target, and they didn't score any goals. So a good start for DC United, but this is a long season for them, and they had a very disappointing one last year. So hopefully this year they're able to do something a little bit better. They lost their best goal scorer in free agency over in the offseason. So hopefully they were able to replace that sort of output to be able to do something. Their next game is coming up this coming Sunday, March the 1st. They will be taking on Austin. And then, of course, they go to their Saturday schedule where they're going to be taking on the defending MLS Cup champions, Inter Miami, on the 7th. And then on the 14th, they got Chicago again. That's going to be on the 14th. So the season's just getting started, and it's already looking like it's going to be a tough road for DC United. But hopefully they're able to weather the storm and show a little bit more of the team that won the first 4 MLS Cups when this league was formed.
Yeah, DC United had 5 wins last season, and Philadelphia had 20. They led the league and the number 1 seed. So good start, I guess, for DC United.
Yeah, that is good. I was trying to figure out how was there a lot of shots on goal in this game, or was it just? I was trying to find if it was our goaltending. Do we have the same goaltender we had before? Do you know?
Well, I got to check, but it was 17 shots total between the two teams, 7 for DC United and 10 for Philadelphia, though only 5 of those 17 shots were on target, meaning they were on goal. And so it's 5 total, 3 for DC United and 2 for Philadelphia.
Interesting. Oh, weird, because this ESPN one has different stats. It says 3 for Philly and 1 for DC. Anyway, but I'm happy that we were able to get the goal. It looks like Philly got a red card in the 58th minute, and we scored in the 23rd minute. So, it didn't look like there was a ton of shots, either way, but I'm happy to see that our goalie was able to make the ones that, happen matter. So, it'll be interesting to see how they do when other teams get more shot attempts on them, and hopefully they can keep up their winning ways. So thank you for the MLS report. Let's switch over to baseball real quick, and we can. This thing is broken. I'll have to fix that. So, but I'll let you talk about the games while I fix the graphic.
Right. So the Nationals we talking about the Nationals or?
Yeah, the Nationals. Sorry, I got it.
Yeah, so spring training has begun for Major League Baseball, and so that means that the Nationals are getting ready to start their campaign. They made a lot of changes throughout the previous season, as well as during the offseason. Got a new GM, got a new manager. They traded away Mackenzie Gore, and it's been a very up and down whirlwind sort of time for the Nationals, but they've started off spring training very well so far. They have, let me see,
They're undefeated still, yeah.
Yeah, they are undefeated. They actually had split squad games on the 21st, which was a Saturday, which they went up against the Cardinals in one and the Astros in another, and they won both of those games. The Cardinals one was a 6-2 final, while the Astros game was a 2-1 final. Then they absolutely trounced the Miami Marlins on Sunday, 16-8. Brady House, he only had 2 hits, but both of them were home runs, and he had 4 RBIs in this game for the Nationals, who had an offensive explosion. And then today, they had a spring training game against their rivals in the NL East, the Phillies, and it went to a 5-5 tie. Of course, in spring training, they don't do extra innings or anything like that. So it was a 5-5 tie. So far, the Nationals are 3-0-1 in spring training. Hopefully, this is a sign of things to come in a positive way, and hopefully it doesn't turn into another disaster like we had last season. But a good start so far for the Nationals.
Yeah, the Orioles have not had as good a start. They won their first one against the Yankees, but then they lost 8-2 to Pittsburgh. They had a draw with Detroit, and then they lost 10-7 to Atlanta. And so both teams have a lot of games because, as Chan was talking about, there's a split squad, so they play a ton of games during the preseason, including in March, so everyone can get warmed up. And then starting March 26th, I think, is when opening season happens.
Yep, that is opening day against the Cubs.
Yep. So, and just to give people a sense of what we've got coming up with our podcast, in the upcoming weeks, we've got. Next week we'll have a basketball recap, and we'll talk about the Wizards in just a second. And then we have a hockey live show, and then we'll have another Wizards recap. And so that'll be on the 16th. That was also going to be our 10-year celebration because we started on St. Patrick's Day in 2026. And so St. Patrick's Day is the next day. So we'll be celebrating a day early on the 16th. And then we're going to do a bonus podcast. Usually the celebration one is the last one before we go on hiatus. But I didn't want to take 3 weeks off just because there's so much going on. So on the 23rd, we're going to do a bonus episode where we're going to do wrestling. We're going to talk more about baseball. We'll talk March Madness, and we'll also talk hockey leading into the 2 weeks off. And then so that'll be our season 10 finale on the 23rd. We won't have a podcast on the 30th or the 6th. And then we come back on the 13th. And we talk about a lot of things, including the last week for the Capitals before the playoffs, if they've made it. We'll also talk about all the stuff going on with the defending champions in the Defenders, and then we'll also talk baseball and all sorts of other sports then too. So we'll be back though, and we'll probably recap March Madness, and I think March Madness will already be over by then. But so usually we're back by the 6th, but I'm going to be taking a second trip. So I'm taking one trip with my kids and one trip with my wife, and so taking them to Texas and for her 40th birthday. Hopefully Mexico will be allowed to go into. Right now they're having some trouble there. So
we actually reported that on the podcast that a CMLL show that they do every week on Tuesdays had to be canceled because of what's going on down there.
Yeah, it's crazy. I didn't even ask you about what your thoughts are on the AAA championship with Dirty Dom and putting it up for if he has to leave, and if What are your thoughts on that one? I forgot to ask that.
I think it's a championship versus hair match or a hair versus mask match. I think it's some kind of step to this matchup, but it's been long overdue.
I thought that he can't be challenged again for the same championship, or the other Dom has to like leave AAA or something.
I have to look that up to see what the stipulation is, because last I remembered, I heard somebody saying it was a hair versus hair match or something like that. So I'm gonna have to check the stipulations and see what's going on with that, because I know there's a step on it, and it has to do. I remember it's having to do with hair, but I have to check and see.
Yeah. Arun, do you have any thoughts on the Nationals or the Orioles or baseball in the preseason?
No, just the Nats. They got off to a good start. As Ken mentioned, Brady House had the 2 home runs, and he has 4 RBIs so far this postseason. Olivia Martinez is batting perfect 1,000, but I don't think that's going to last. But overall, just interesting to see, since they fired Rizzo and hired the new GM, who's 35 years old, just seeing what the new direction of the team is going to look like.
That's crazy that he's like younger than us. It's.
And the assistant GM is 31 years old. He's Indian. He comes from the Phillies.
Yeah, I don't know. Hopefully, the Phillies have done better recently, so hopefully that'll be a good move for them. But who knows? All right. Well, let's talk a little bit of NBA. I don't really know what the Wizards are doing here. And Arun, it was pretty ridiculous. Like, they're trying to lose to tank, and there's 3 teams at the bottom, and the other team seemed to be able to out-tank us 2 games in a row. We started off that 2-game series at the bottom, and now they're at the bottom. But what was some of your takeaways from that?
Yeah, Indiana's entering the tank race now. They just traded a top 4 protected pick at the trade deadline 2 weeks ago for Ivica Zubac, because they let Miles Turner go in free agency. So they needed a center replacement for the future, but they're trying to tank, and they only have a 44% chance to keep that pick in the top 4, and they can't improve, but they want to maximize their return on the pick. And the league has started finding teams for outright tanking. Utah was fined $500,000. Indiana was fined $100,000. So the Wizards can't just completely lay an egg. So Indiana, I think, was willing to sit their all-star power forward, and I think the G League players of the Wizards are better than the G League players of the Pacers.
So how do they define it as like clearly tanking? Like, I don't understand what they're.
I think the coach gave a really bad answer in the Utah game. I don't know why the Indiana GM was fine, but Utah, they asked them, why didn't you play Jaren Jackson or their 2 all-star players, and they're like, we didn't think about putting them back in the overtime. They gave but I don't know why the Wizards, they've actually been trying to lose a lot of these games, the game against the Kings, they put in their G League players, and it was obviously they were tanking, but they ended up winning the game. So I think the win ended up saving Ted Leonsis some money, but they've been they've been mailing it in, but I think they've been handling the press better, or I don't know, maybe the coach is giving more diplomatic answers. It's like, we're developing players and stuff like that, but they're obviously tanking. But even in the last game against the Hornets, they were winning that game, or it was kind of a close game. But Koulibaly, who had I think one of his better first halves of the season, only played 16 minutes in the game, and I think maybe just less people are watching the Wizards, and maybe I think the Utah thing is because OKC has control of their pick, and they're the best team in the NBA, and I think they're starting this whole anti-tanking narrative because they get Utah's pick if it finishes outside the top 4, but or something. I don't know what the stipulations are, but I don't think the Knicks are really complaining about the Wizards tanking because they kind of conceded that the Wizards are a terrible team. But I don't know, like I don't understand why like the league is necessarily like how they're going to solve the tanking issue. Because it's the only way the bad teams are going to get better, but it's kind of depressing basketball to watch at the same time. So maybe they need to. I don't know how they'll fix it. It's not an easy solution, but it is kind of a problem because it's not enjoyable. But at the same time, if the Wizards lose their first round pick, it's a pretty bad solution, especially in a very loaded draft where I think 5 of the guys right now would be like the number 1 pick in the 2024 NBA draft. So and last year's draft had like Cooper Flag and it was like an all-time draft, but they're saying this draft is supposed to be even better. So I don't think tanking just happens in these years, and the 2 drafts after that are not supposed to be that good. So I think the Wizards. That's why the Wizards are loading up on win now players like Trae Young and Anthony Davis because the prospects aren't supposed to be as good, but we'll find out. Like, A, if this Anthony Davis, Trae Young experiment is going to work, and B, if the Wizards are even good enough to compete or if they're going to be back tanking again. And the Wizards did raise season ticket prices, which is odd for a team that's tanking for next. I guess they acquired Anthony Davis and Trae Young, but it's the second straight year that they've raised prices. And
I can't believe they're raising prices after tanking 2 years in a row and not even doing it correctly. It's just, I don't know, it seems so ridiculous. But
monumental sports and not being on
and and it's not being picked up by cable companies, and I don't know. It's just, and they didn't even pick up the Nationals deal that I was like expecting them to get, and I thought that was gonna be how they were gonna diversify, get like regional baseball on there. But I don't know.
Maybe they're anticipating the Capitals tickets to not be as good with Ovechkin gone, so they need to make up some money. But I think they're I don't know. It's like they have a lot of money.
But they also like really poorly. We talked about this on the hockey segment. There's a whole section of seats that are millions of dollars that people buy out, but like then don't show up for, and it looks terrible.
Yeah, they go to the suite. They're like they can go to the suite, but then they don't. The seats are all empty during the game.
Yeah, it's a bad look, and like even if it is technically a sellout, and you got somebody giving you millions of dollars not to show up, like that's not really what you want, you know. Like we want fans in the building, especially in the best seats. Yeah,
and they don't even have the court side. They don't even like I think have fans like come down like season ticket holders and fill those like courtside seats sometimes, which looks bad sometimes. And
yeah. I've sat down there, and it's awesome. You get unlimited food and all that sort of stuff, and I understand why it's tempting to be like in the back getting all this like food and drinks and whatever. But like, do that at halftime. Show up for the team. Like I don't. It's not.
I would like have those in the 200 section. Like I had those all you can eat seats once.
Yeah,
they're a lot cheaper, but then now it's also like
it's just so crazy. Even for
prices.
Wizards games, they're just insanely priced. I'm like. Who's going to see that product? But
all the away team fans get to see their like the Laker fans or the.
I mean that's why they all sell out because there's so many fans of all the other teams.
Yep.
So
like the Commanders when they sucked.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Everyone, any other topics you wanted to talk about?
No, not. I don't know. Like. I guess we're approaching Commanders free agency, and they cut Lattimore, or I think they're going to cut him because he was like just got arrested. So, and I think that was like a mixed trade. Like he did have a couple games where they didn't have any receptions against the Saints and the playoff game against the Lions, but he got burned a lot, especially this past season. And I guess and the rookie that they Forbes, he's on the Rams, right? And he was kind of playing well, so kind of like a mixed bag. So it'd be interesting to see what the Commanders do with like the surplus of cap space. I guess the only good thing about the trade was that they had a lot of cap space anyways. But the corner, Lattimore didn't really like address their secondary needs, and it's maybe the dam was like too big. There are too many holes, like especially the linebackers couldn't cover, and the D line couldn't create a pass rush consistently, especially when Kinlaw got injured. So I'm interested to see what the Commanders do this offseason.
They have a lot of money, right? And I
Yeah.
just like, how are they gonna like allocate it and figure this out? Like, I really
well,
like
they just re-signed Andrew Wiley, who's a backup guard, for a nice little 2 year one for like $7.5 million with an upside of $10.5 million. So I mean, they seem like they're going to start keeping some players and making some moves in free agency. Who knows?
Yeah, Debo, I don't know if he's coming back. Are they going to go after Brandon Ayuk? Like that's like a mixed bag. He like apparently he had social media. He posted a video of him holding an ice cream and it melting in his hands. So like Commanders fans don't like that dumbass behavior, but maybe he'll improve on the field. Like I don't know. Like I was like a little bit surprised by that. So it's just like teams. It's not like like you have a lot of cap space, but it's like teams are going to try to keep their own players that they drafted. So it'll be interested to see. Like 2 years ago, they hit like doubles and triples on all their like free agency signings with Zach Ertz and Wagner. But some of those guys, like they need to get younger, and they do have money to win now, kind of thing. And we'll see. Maybe they go after. They need a running back, probably. Like even if the 7th rounder last year, like if he could be like maybe if you have dual running backs, or they might go after a wide receiver to replace Deebo Samuel in the draft. They have like in a pass rush they haven't created like one them even the last 2 years consistently. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I hope that the GM did such a great job a couple of years ago. I just hope he's able to re-get that spark back and make those right moves, and we're able to have a good season this upcoming season, because we all had such high hopes for this year, and we kind of fell flat on our face. And I really want us to have another good year, because unfortunately I feel like this is Dan Quinn's last opportunity. If he falls on his face again, I don't think he gets another chance. Like, I just feel like one time us having a good season, that's a fluke if these next couple of years are not great. If he can prove and at least make the playoffs again, then there's a conversation to be had. But if we miss the playoffs this upcoming year, we might unfortunately need to see a coaching change sooner rather than later.
Yeah, and the Giants are probably going to get better with Harbaugh, and the Cowboys, I don't know, they weren't a complete disaster, even though everyone criticized their head coaching move. The trade for the Steelers wide receiver paid off. So I think the Eagles, even though they got knocked out in the first round, they'll probably be back and probably the favorites of the division. So it's not like the Patriots division where like a couple of those teams, even though the Bills are good, the Dolphins and the Jets are terrible. It's not. I think the NFC East is going to probably be a little bit tougher next season, and the Commanders are probably they're going to have to be better than last season if they want to compete for even just to get to the playoffs.
Yeah, I agree. I think they have to perform a lot closer to what we saw 2 years ago to be able to have a chance. So, well, Arun, thank you so much for sticking with us, and I appreciate you helping us break down the Olympics. Was there any other Olympic action that you watched that you wanted to mention before we end the stream tonight?
I guess you guys already touched on the women's hockey team, and figure skating was good. Glad that the women's figure skater, she dropped out of the global. She dropped out of figure skating because she got burnout, but then she was able to put it back together and win gold. And it seemed like if you have burnout, it's good to address your needs, and then maybe you can come back even better, and it's never too late to turn things around. So it's good for her.
I hope that the figure skater for the men, Ilya, is able to come back in 4 years and turn it around, because he had such an incredible run at the World Championships and doing so many great things and able to do some moves that no one else can do. So I hope that I know sometimes it's the first time at the Olympics, and he had a chance when he was 17 to join, and they thought he was too young then. Now he's 21, but I still think he could at 25 come back. So we'll see if he's able to put it all together. But I was super happy that we were able to get a record 12 golds in the Winter Olympics, and it's a really hard Olympics to win a lot of golds at, because there's less events than the summer ones, and there's these countries like Norway that just dominate.
18
sports.
golds for Norway.
Yeah. So, and the same thing with countries like well, there's a lot of incredible ones, but especially the Dutch. I was thinking about them. They send so few people, but win such a high percentage of them, that they're such an efficient country in terms of winning, especially with speed skating and things like that. So it was interesting, because there was definitely a couple championships that people expected America to win, and we didn't. We got a lot of silvers. I think we got 12 silvers and 9 bronze. Yeah, it's a great showing all around, and yeah, it was really fun to watch. All right, well, I'll let you give your final thoughts, Arun, and then I'll let you get out of here.
I didn't get Ken's reaction to RG3 having the Undertaker.
I was shaking my head, sir. I was shaking my freaking head. I was just like, this guy here, bro.
Do you actually know what his top 5 is? Or?
Oh yeah, I gotta pull it up. Ken, you can respond. I'll pull that up for one.
Yeah,
oh God!
Gotta bring the gimmick in, So I like that it's wrestling related today.
Oh yeah, and RG Jane Daniels dapped up LeBron after the Laker game, which was interesting. And I remember RG3 dapping up LeBron one time when the Wizards played, I think, Miami that time.
Right, and so did Ovi as well recently. But
yeah, so his top 5 are number 1, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson; number 2, Shawn Michaels; number 3, Stone Cold Steve Austin; number 4, The Undertaker; number 5, Ric Flair; and John Cena's on this list. You just can't see him.
All right. Jesus Christ. Well, you know what? I like his list. He's got a good list. He's got a good list. He's got some of the goats up there. So yeah, I respect his list.
There you go. I like it too. Those are some of my favorites as well. So, all right. Well, thank you so much, Arun. I appreciate it. You can always check out Arun's thoughts on Facebook and other things. And Emma's still with us. She said that Cena joke is a yikes. But you can always check him out. Sometimes he even streams on twitch.tv/A2TheRon. And then also you can catch him on Twitter, AR, and then Bhattacharya, BHATTACHARYA.
Very impressive that you were able to spell that.
Yeah, so
everybody who could spell it.
Yeah, it's true. But or you can click on the links if you're in Twitch chat, which might be easier. But I appreciate your take as always. Arun and I have known each other since we were in high school, so it's pretty wild. And Arun has been a part of this podcast since season 1. We're finishing up season 10 right here, and I appreciate your insight as always, Arun. And we'll definitely get your thoughts maybe next week after the live Wizards game.
Sure. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, awesome. All right, champ. With that, I'll switch it back to the No Spots graphic and let people know. I know you got a lot of different shows coming up this week.
Yeah, so we just recorded episode 320 before we came on to this podcast. That will be up later this week because I'm going to be working Grubhub the next couple of nights, so I won't have time to really sit down and do the editing for the podcast. So it'll come up later this week. But also, we'll be recording 321 of the podcast this Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern. It'll be streaming live on Twitch, Kick, and on Facebook. We are going to be talking about the Elimination Chamber, giving our predictions for that, and an abbreviated week in review. We're going to talk about the go home edition of Raw, NXT, which is having a big show this coming Tuesday. We'll talk about Dynamite, and we'll talk about Impact as well. That'll be coming up this Friday. And then this Saturday, beginning at 6:50 Eastern, we are going live on Twitch, Kick, and Facebook for live reactions to the Elimination Chamber taking place in Chicago. So you can join Sith and myself for that. That's always a fun time, being able to sit down and watch wrestling with the good folks on Twitch, Kick, and on Facebook.
What time was that at on Saturday?
6:50.
6:50. Okay, and now I can do the gimmick with the being in Australia with you guys on Netflix.
Exactly.
There you
go. Exactly. But that's all coming up. If you don't know where to follow us at, we're on Twitch, we're on Kick at True No Spots Pod, and we're on Facebook, facebook.com/No Spots Pod. Make sure you check us out on all those platforms, and make sure you join us for our upcoming podcast stream as well as our live reactions.
Yeah, definitely go check it out. It's a lot of fun. I really enjoyed their stream today. They talked about the last couple of weeks. They also talked about some of their favorite wrestlers in history. So that was a cool segment. I definitely go check it out. You can always check the replays out if you don't want to wait for the audio podcast, because they keep their Twitch replays up, and Facebook, on their Facebook page, those replays stay up for I think a month. So you can always check those out while we wait for the audio podcast. But Champ, I appreciate it as always. Thank you for modding and jumping in and rating in and all the things, and thank you for the resub last week. And you're always a big part of this show, and we couldn't do hour 2 without you. So I appreciate that as well. I don't think we're gonna rate out tonight, but I do appreciate everybody for being with us. I know I usually do a Wednesday edit stream. I've had a bad back this last couple of weeks. I may be taking this Wednesday off from that, but do check it out. Gross Scuba. We have our scuba diving channel, youtube.com/@growscuba, if you want to see all of our latest scuba diving documentaries. We have a new video coming out this Thursday. There's a great turtle and stingray shot in there. That'll be part 8, I believe, of the movie now. And then we'll also have a short that's coming out tomorrow at 5 o'clock. Just a little brief moment of the turtle as a little teaser for that. If you're following on YouTube, a lot of people love those shorts. And then on Friday, there'll be a teaser short for the stingray part of that long movie. And then also on Friday, we will release, either on Thursday or Friday, we'll release on IG a reel of it, like a 1-minute reel, sort of highlight compilation of this latest video. And then also on the Friday, we're going to do a special stream. Champ, I haven't announced this anywhere yet, so this is the first announcing of this. It is Pokemon Day on Friday, and so instead of doing a Wednesday stream, I'm thinking about moving my bonus stream to Friday. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause the announcement trailer for Pokemon Day, which is at 9 o'clock Eastern, and I'm going to rush, get both kids to school, come home, and record myself live on stream, pressing the play button and reacting to all the latest Pokemon news. And then we might play whatever game is announced live that day, or we'll play one of the other Pokemon games live on stream as well to celebrate Pokemon Day. So we'll react live to the news. We'll either do some sort of Photoshop or graphic design project around Pokemon. We've done that before, or play a Pokemon game. So we'll do one of those two things. We've celebrated the last 3 Pokemon days, actually. So, and the last 2 live streams that have been during the day. So hopefully people will stay tuned for the second annual live stream of Pokemon Day. It's the 30th celebration of Pokemon, so it's a big deal. They'll be releasing the original games again on the Switch, which will be fun, as well as a lot of other breaking news. And then Emma Meek Photo, thank you so much for joining. It's so lovely to meet you as well. It's cool to find other wrestling fans, especially ones from the UK. And it was cool to experience that big moment on Raw with you. Definitely stop by next next Monday, as we will obviously talk. We discuss live Raw in hour 2 every week, as well as the week that was for SmackDown and PLEs and stuff like that as well. So thank you again for joining us, and people go follow her as well. So that's a little bit of everything. If people want to check out my other socials, you can always check it out here on YouTube. We got twitter.com/Ebersorg. I don't use Twitter that much. SportsOTHP.com gets the links for the No Spots podcast, also for the Power Play Point podcast, and a lot of our other links and social medias are there, as well as all of the Olympic episodes we've done. We've done now 17 Olympic episodes over the last 10 years. You can catch all those there, as well as on Facebook, sportsothp.com. Facebook.com/SportsOTHP. You can check us out at YouTube.com/Robbie Gross. And on Instagram, it's the same name as it is live here on Twitch, which is RobbieG_SportsOTHP. Hopefully you can catch us on one of those. Again, probably not going to do a Wednesday stream. May still do a pop-up editing stream if I'm feeling better. But Friday will be the Pokemon stream. I'm really excited about that. Should start sometime in the 9 o'clock hour. I'm not exactly sure when I'll get Zara in school, but I will rush home and we will start the stream as quickly as I can because I don't want spoilers. And so the faster I start talking about it, the less spoiled I will be. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Thank you, Ken, for doing this hour. Thank you, Arun, for talking DC Sports with us. Thank you, C4 and Sith, for also talking wrestling. Thank you to all of the guests for that amazing gold medal game recap. Thank you to Stuart for being a good sport and giving us the Canadian perspective. Thank you to Tim, who was watching it live with me. Arun also was in that segment. Gil, always great. Also C4, wonderful as well. So we'll talk Capitals next week. Also talk maybe a little bit of Wizards, a little bit of a DC United update. We'll talk about spring training, and we'll also talk about the Elimination Chamber recap. So tune in to episode 404 for all of that. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in, and we'll talk to you guys next week.
Okigenyo, sayonara.